Right, we are live. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to This Weekend Loaded. All right, as the intro says, we are live. So, good evening, everybody. And tonight we have Mr. Jason Stewart with us. How are you tonight, Jason?
I'm doing all right, Rich, man. Thanks for the invite. Good to see you.
And if you're out there in YouTube chat, we don't know you're out there. If you're watching live, so say something so we know you're out there and we can say howdy to you. And hopefully more people show up because hopefully they're not thinking this is the wrestling chat because that's going to be tomorrow night. Because tomorrow night there is a pay per view, so we will be doing the pay per view watch along thing tomorrow night. There's Buck out there, evening Buck. So how's your
Hey,
day
Buck.
been? Yeah, how's your day been today?
Oh, not too bad. Real nice weather. Uh, got a lot of work done today. I had to get done. Just come home to relax. But we was talking earlier. There's a funny smell in the air outside, so I don't know if a house is burnt down or a factory's polluting something or other. But that's kind of strange. It's a very poisony smell.
I wonder if somebody isn't burning garbage or something.
No, I went outside and looked around. There's no smoke nearby or anything, but the smell hasn't gone away. It's been around for a couple hours now. Finally shut my doors because I mean it's just funny, man. It's got that real plasticky like kind of poison smell to it. So
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if maybe somebody was burning garbage. Maybe they were burning garbage before you got home from work and it smells just lingering.
I don't know. I don't know who would do that. You can't really. It's illegal to do that here, but
It
laws don't
doesn't
stop
stop people.
anybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think maybe like a crack house or a meth house or something burnt down, or there's a I don't know something might have happened in one of the factories nearby or something.
Well, maybe who knows? Um, we've been joined by the aforementioned Buck. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing?
Not too bad.
I finally got that table put together.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier this afternoon on during Rick's show.
That's one heavy son of a bitch.
Oh, that's good. That's what you need.
It's got 3 pounds of 3-inch nails. I mean, screws in it. I figured 1 pound be enough, but no.
It's a lot of screws.
I think them brackets had like 10 screws in each leg, and I got 8 of them.
Yeah, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, she good and solid though. But I am going to double up on that plywood.
On the top.
Yeah, on the top of it.
Yeah, man.
Well, I might go ahead and get that. I don't know what the hell they call it, but Home Depot had this white 3/4 board, but it was like solid white on top. Like,
Laminated board. Yeah.
yeah, something like that. I guess that's what you call it.
That's all plywood is a lamination too. But you were saying that your son or son-in-law was making you a custom pop for it or something, weren't you?
Yeah, my son, he's gonna make one of those. I guess you call it the resin or whatever it is,
Resin.
resin with the different size casings in it and stuff.
Yeah, like a clear material with the shell casings in it, almost like
Yeah,
those shot glasses that have the bullet in them and stuff like that.
yeah. I think he's gonna say he's gonna use black walnut and then put like a. I told him make it about a half inch thick,
Hmm.
and then whatever thickness that resin has to be.
And that'll look good.
I've been thinking about a new little table, actually, because I'm sitting at one right now. I just got the computer set up, and I showed
Hmm.
you that funky computer table that I bought.
Mm. Yeah, with
Well, I
the
wrote,
the funky computer table for the funky computer with the funky motherboard.
yeah, but the thing, the desk is really just a table, but it's really
Yeah.
nice. I like it. I bought like the smallest one, right? And I got so much stuff now. I wish I'd have got the one that was a little bit bigger. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think I'm gonna get another one that's a little bit bigger. But the one that I got right here, I'm using now. I think this would be a really good little table for cleaning your guns.
Hmm.
There's plenty of room for a rifle on this. I'm sitting right at a computer desk height. I mean, you could do a little gunsmithing, all your cleaning and everything, and it's got like a I don't know, it's got like a mouse pad top on it already. You know what I mean? I think this would be a great little. You couldn't reload on it; it's not strong enough for that. But a little maintenance table, just a little thing. I think this is like perfect size, man. Because it's extra like long away because of your monitor, so you could
Hmm.
have like your oil cans and your cleaning cans and stuff pushed up away from you where you wouldn't bump them or anything. I think
Yeah.
this would make a great little cleaning desk because I was cleaning guns the other day, and this is what I used. I just had to take my keyboard and pile it up over here and my mouse and stuff. But I was thinking the whole time, I want this whole table for cleaning because, um, like those Tipton gun vices.
Hmm.
It's the long plastic thing so you can clean your rifle. You
Yeah.
could put one of these on here real nice, man. Spin it around both sides. It'd be great, and like you can get this desk, man, for like shit, like $100, man, like $110 or something.
Was that way the when you were building that you just showed us, Buck?
Yeah, yeah, that's the one I built.
Are you gonna do anything on the wall, like put a pegboard or anything there, or for like
Uh,
hanging tools or anything?
I think. Wait a minute. Let me see. See down at that end, I probably got about 3 feet.
Hmm.
It's right over there. Yeah, right here. I think about building like in I guess you call them like closet shelves. They're
Hmm.
metal where you can adjust different heights on it, something like that.
Okay. You put like a little piece of pegboard there, and you can hang like your rubber mallet that you might use for something, and a couple other things right there too. Your AR wrench, all that kind of stuff, and have it right there, easy access.
Yeah, I got that hanging on the other table right behind me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you're done, that's going to be a nice setup.
I got a. It's kind of like a L shape right now. I still got that other table in there. I think I'm gonna keep that in there and do all my case prep on one and all the loading on another one. Cause I got that needling machine. I got every damn thing. I guess, but it's always something.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get Robin here tonight. He's having technical issues when he's trying to jump on G23 show earlier. It didn't look like StreamYard was wanting to play nice with his phone tonight.
You can always use that table, Jason, for case prep.
Yeah, I mean they sell it as a computer desk, but man, all it is a table. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But it's just a little lower. Like if you go look, you go buy a bench or a table or something. They go like 32 inches tall, 34, 35, 30 some inches. You know what I mean? This thing's down. This is only like 29 inches or something. So it's like perfect for sitting in your like computer chair, man. It's like it's not tall like a desk, like you're at keyboard height on it with a computer chair. It's just the perfect size. It doesn't wiggle or anything, but I mean it's definitely, you're not going to put a vise on it and hammer nothing, but for cleaning or doing a little bit of gun work, I think it's a nice table because you just got this little farther room ahead of you where you could have tools and stuff out of the way without them all being right up here in your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got a room that we could set up like that in the basement, but right now it's full of boxes. Got it. Eventually, we got to go through all that stuff, and once we get through all that stuff, we can turn it into like a little workroom down there. I mean, it's already got the pegboards and everything all set up.
Shit, at the current moment, man, I have to dig to get to my reloading bench. It looks like the delivery semi for Midway USA jackknifed and overspilled over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
that old room I had. Yeah, I hate to see the old lady when she goes back in there to clean it out. 'Cause all my empty boxes, I just threw them at the other end of the room. I, I, I gotta find me a roll around tool cart, just the bottom part of it with the drawers on it and the flat surface,
You got
so I can
a
do my bullet casting on that.
you got a Harbor Freight near you?
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting till they go on sale.
And another thing I've seen some people do is they'll go to like IKEA and they'll get one of those tabletop tables from IKEA, and then some of those adjustable height drawers where you can stack how many drawers you want, and they'll put the tabletop across the drawers and bolt them together and make a desk for that kind of stuff out of those. If you
You
got an
going
IKEA near
outside?
you.
You going outside to cast, but
Yeah, yeah. I ain't
yeah,
gonna do it in here, and I'll probably
I'd like to have a
do.
cart set up like that too.
Yeah, yeah. I got the idea from Mac Man.
Yeah, uh I seen them. What I've been using it ain't great, but I took a stand that's for a table saw. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Uh, I was gonna put a top on that, and I was gonna try to make a reloading stand that was low to the ground where I could use like my computer desk chair. You know what I mean? Well, I took that stand there, and I just went and grabbed. It's from work. It's completely what you'd call not the press board, but like fiberboard put together. Squeezed together. But it's like an inch thick or more already. Right? Just a big heavy square. It's actually what we hang on the wall for an attic access into an attic through a wall. So it's a great big thick insulated board basically. I just laid that down on top of that um, table saw stand, and then I put a concrete block on top of that, and put my little Lee 420 pot on top of that concrete block, and I just stand up outside and do it. And then it's kind of easy to take down and get out of the way when you're done outside. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing, just using basically a table with a cement block on it.
Yeah, my uncle for the outside for melting lead when he would make do his own sinkers and stuff. He had those stainless like shelving units you would get like Home Depot or Lowe's. He'd have two sets of those, one on each side, and then he had like one of those stainless work tables going across the top of it.
You know what I can't, I've looked at building something, but don't really want to spend the money on a new one. But I was thinking if you took all the stuff out of it and made your own thing, an old barbecue grill would be a great platform thing to set up casting area. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that way you can just
Hmm.
close the top. And you ain't got to really
Yeah,
worry about it.
stuff's yeah done. But usually got those little wing, platforms on the side. Even if it had a
Yeah.
burner,
Hmm.
usually got those on the sides. You could put your little electric hot plate warmer on one of those for your molds. I mean, you can rip out all the tubes and the knobs and the burners and all that crap. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah,
mean?
it's,
And
Man,
put
don't
something in
even
there.
talk about that shit, Jason. Cause damn, I got a damn grill outside. I'll go tear it up tomorrow.
I know it, man. It seems so
And
easy to
then the old
be.
lady gonna kick my ass.
It would have, it would have everything you need, man. It's just
I
about
know.
the right
And
size.
mine ain't, mine's a big square one too.
Yeah, I was looking at a barbecue grill, mainly because I like the stainless part of it. You know what I mean? Just leave it outside. You ain't gotta worry about it raining and rusting and
hmm
shit. But yeah, I was thinking a barbecue grill would be a neat place to start, man.
Yeah, that's another thing I gotta give me is a hot plate.
Especially like the guys that build in PID controllers.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
If
mean?
you're
You could build that right into the framework
yeah, look at
of a
this.
barbecue grill. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, and look at this way too. I mean, you got a barbecue grill, the gas one, the propane one. It doesn't work anymore. You can buy new internals for that, and you can make it if it's one of the ones that has the side burner where that side burner works, and you won't need a hot plate.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could even put a melter thing on one of them side plates. A cast iron pot. Yeah, I think a little barbecue grill would be thing. The thing about it is, it'd be great if you find barbecue that don't work and somebody give it to you for free. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah, just buy new guts for it. I mean, not the you wouldn't need the main burner. You would just need the side burner for it. Put a new side burner on it. Hook that up to a propane tank, and you're not wasting electricity. And you don't got to worry about taking the hot plate in and out of the house with you because you don't want to leave that outside in case it rains or enough. But the grill with the side burner, you don't got to worry about that.
Yeah, I just thought those would be great because it. I don't know, and they're the right. They're usually the right heights too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's the setup my uncle had. Like I was saying, what he didn't use a hot plate. He had one of those little camp stoves that he set on top of there, and that's what he used to melt the lead. Was one of those little camp stoves that you hooked one of those little Coleman propane tanks up to.
hmm,
Yeah, man. Cause like a barbecue grill, like you could take off the four knobs or whatever in the front, right? And if it had big holes, you could just buy a square piece of a tin metal and screw it, put on there, and you know what I mean. You could really customize it easily, man. Put in, power strip, electrical outlets, wind up place for extension cords, everything on it, man. Just like your little tool cart that you're gonna modify anyways. I just, a little barbecue grill setup, man. Like I said, you could have that lid lift up, and there's everything you need, and like you got places for like your spoons and your trays and your molds, and like you don't have to worry no matter where you set anything. You don't have to worry about being hot. The whole thing's a barbecue grill. You know what I mean?
yeah, mine's a charcoal grill, so I don't have none of them knobs and nothing. And it's got the big flat grate going across the top of it. So I really ain't got to do much modifying. It has, I think, two shelves on it,
Yeah,
two
man. Just
little
put
wing
a
shelves.
put a board in it.
Y'all done
Put a
got me in trouble.
put a board in it for a top. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just had that brainstorm one day about trying to use a barbecue grill, outdoor
Hell, as
barbecue
far
grill.
as that goes, to warm my molds up, I can put them right there on the bun warmer and shut it right over top of the pot when it's melting.
Hmm.
That'll warm everything up.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
That's it.
hey, do you use a lead temperature
Yeah.
thermometer thing?
Uh huh.
I gotta get me one. Well, where'd you get yours at?
All right. I bought uh two of them, but I bought a Lyman, the digital Lyman,
Uh-huh.
and it seems like it's more like a testing machine. I've never had any problems with it, but it did say like in the owner's manual that like the run time on the battery was only like a very short amount of hours. You know what I mean? So I didn't think it was one you put in and leave it on all the time. Maybe people do, but I use mine just to test it, right, to see what the temperature was. Um, I got a barbecue grill thermometer from Menards for like $6, $8, and it only goes up to like 800, but that's all you need, and it works fine, and it matches right up with that digital lineman. And I'm usually running about a little less than 700, a little over 700, and that's where I've been casting at. So the 800-degree thermometer is just fine, but I would caution it. It does seem like, I wouldn't want to have that pot getting hotter than that. Like, if you push that thermometer past the 800-degree mark, it might break it or throw it off. You know what I mean? It's gonna like peg the little needle on it. But
Yeah, I haven't.
you don't need to be at 800 anyways. So it works fine, and like it's only $8. If you go get one that like registers to like 1200 degrees or something, like from the reloading companies, you're gonna pay 40, $50 for one of their thermometers.
Yeah, Roto
But
Metals have one for
yeah, but
36.
you're never gonna get to 1200 degrees. You don't
Oh,
need to be
hell
there.
no.
Like my bullets will, like I gotta watch it just for what I'm casting. Other people may be wrong, but this is what my thermometers tell me. Like I'm real good at like 690, 700, even like 720, and anywhere around there is above that, and as fast as I'm casting, that's when it starts to get frosty on me. You know what I mean? Right there. If it creeps up to like 750 and I see uh, things are starting to get a little frosty, I'll slow down a little bit and I'll turn the temperature down a little bit. And as long as I can keep it right in there, 700 or so, a little past 700, I can just cast, and cast, man.
Yeah, somebody I was talking to said turn that bitch wide open and just start going working on it.
Oh, like you
Shit.
got you got a Lee pot?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
420.
I turn mine all the way up. Maybe not. I turn it all the way up and then just back it off a hair, right? Just a hair. Just I don't know. Just trying to prolong it. You know what I mean? Not wear it out too much or whatever. I just keep it off a high, just a hair. But it takes a while. It take half hour or something to get right up to the temperature that I want, and everything melted. I'm ready to go. Then I usually turn it down to 5, 4.5, 5, and
Yeah,
that'll keep everything about, like I said, around that 700 range, and I don't even worry about it. But like if I got like a little low on lead, I've poured a lot, and I got a whole bunch of the sprue left over. I'll take that, and when I got to pour it back in my pot and stir it up, when you throw that in there, it'll cool it off a little bit, right? So maybe I'll turn it up for a minute or two, a little higher, and just watch my temperature. Once it gets to right about 700, I'll put it back to where I was, 4.5, 4 3/4.
Real quick, we've been joined by Bernie out there in the chat. So, evening, Bernie.
hey Bernie.
But yeah, I'm getting by with, like I said, a little cheap thermometer, and it really helped me a lot, man. I was starting to have all kinds of problems because not knowing what the temperature was. You know what I mean? Now it didn't take real long to learn, like when you were too hot and when you were too cold.
Yeah, right
Once you
now
got a thermometer.
The only thing I got for a table right now is two 55-gallon drums with a board. And I've started thinking, I said, well, knowing my luck, I'll probably get all excited, hit the bitch, fucking
Oh
pot
yeah,
will go everywhere.
yeah. That's what I've tried to concern myself with doing. You don't want that pot to spill over, boy.
No.
Get yourself a nice stainless steel tabletop. Take the legs off of it. Bolt that shit down to those two
Yeah.
55-gallon drums, man. You'll be set.
Yeah, a bolt or two on them little Lee pots, man. Bolt them right down. Yes,
Yeah, I was
sir.
thinking, what if I, like, if I get a table or something, or if I build something, it's going to have wheels on it so I can wheel it around. But if I'm going to use that grill, is y'all going to get my ass kicked over.
Yeah, I'm telling you, a grill. I was thinking about the grill. I'd leave my stuff out there. I wouldn't leave my molds out there. But
No.
the little Lee pot, that's only like $75 anyways.
And that way I can keep my lid in it too, down in
I
the
would
bottom.
I would leave that right outside in that and close and shut the lid. You
But
know what
knowing
I
my
mean?
luck, that bitch be get full of water and shit. Knowing my luck.
That's why you got a hole. That's why you got a hole in it. I mean, there's a bunch of holes in a charcoal grill or even a gas grill. Water drain right out of that.
Now I'm talking about in the pot.
Well, turn the pot upside down, and water can't get in it that way.
But yeah, here we go. I started something new, man. I knew that wasn't a crazy idea. Casting little setup, man, out of a stainless barbecue grill, man. That'd just be sweet.
Damn, I'm
Ooh, you
gonna
know
have to
what
go
else?
riding around looking for grills.
You
Have
know
a
what else
little,
could work?
you have a little electric fan cut out in it, and
Yeah.
grill
You know,
and mounted
yeah,
it,
you
and
know what
suck
else
the
could work?
fumes away from you.
You know what else
Right.
could work? Because we're coming up on yard sale season.
Yeah.
One of those
Yeah.
mechanics toolboxes, man, that has the flip up top where it has like the work center
Yeah,
up there on top.
thought about those too. You'd be like, those is
I
another
don't
thing.
know
It
about the
just,
flip up top one. I want one that's like it's 2-piece mechanics tool chest. It's got the top and the bottom. All I want is just the bottom where I can put a piece of wood on it. That way I can roll it around and have everything. I can just stick right in the drawers and move it inside when I ain't
Well,
using it.
this will be to make your casting station out of. You can store like your pot and stuff in the roll top part of the top. At the top, you just open it up and you're good. You're ready to go.
yeah, man, slide out them drawers, man. There's your cookie sheets and your fucking drawers for molds.
Hmm.
But I got to have it so I can put the oven out there too.
Yeah, it's a crazy rabbit hole, man. Like,
Yeah.
casting's cheap. If you go the Lee route, getting a pot, getting a mold, getting going, super cheap. But then it's the things. Building a bench to put it on will cost 3 times what you spent on the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Buying the
I've been
toolboxes,
kind of looking around here.
buying toolboxes 3 times what it costs just for the equipment. I mean,
That's
you're
why I
always
said go
screwed
to a
one
yard.
way or another. Yeah.
That's why I say go check out the yard sales and stuff. I mean, it's that time of year you're going to start seeing people having yard sales and garage sales and stuff. You can pick stuff like that up at a yard sale or garage sale for a fraction of what would cost you new at like Lowe's or Home Depot or somewhere.
Yeah, Home Depot here has got a, I think it's a Husky table. I think it's adjustable where you can kind of crank it up and down and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't have wheels on it. I wanted one that had wheels.
You can always buy wheels and put them on yourself.
Yeah, but it was like $124, which ain't
Yeah.
bad. It's 6-foot
No.
table. No, 4-foot table.
Man, I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna get me the stainless barbecue grill and modify that to like the greatest thing
Damn.
ever.
Well,
Flip
shit,
it
man,
up.
you can
I'm
find
gonna have like 2 Lee pots when you lift up the lid sitting up in
Hey,
there.
you know
Man.
what?
And
know
I'm
what?
gonna have like a red lightning bolt painted across the top. It'd be like the Melt
Uh-huh.
Master
And you
2000 or something.
and you still go looking at the yard sales and the garage sales for the grill because people sell
Yeah,
them all the time too.
yeah. I'll get the grill, and that's what I'll do it all up.
I think I'm gonna outdo you. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the egg.
I don't know if that would work very well. Have you ever actually seen one of those in the store? Man, those things got a
No.
heavy ass lid on them. The thing is like inch thick ceramic. The top on those things, man, they got some weight to it. It's heavier than what it looks.
Yeah, we gonna see who gonna do this first, there, Jason.
Yeah. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna say hi to Mr.
Hi,
Gunn.
Stacy.
Yeah, even Stacy.
Hello.
Yeah,
You got
you
any
pick
good barbecue grills y'all want to get rid of?
they're wanting to make reloading equipment out of barbecue grills now.
Yeah, I need a stainless barbecue grill, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bring it to Tulsa with you.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Oh man, well, you picked the right night. We got a bracket tonight, Stacy.
Is it a good one?
Yeah, love songs.
Oh lordy.
Oh no, I'm sorry, it's not love songs. What was it?
Breakup, breakup
Breakup
songs.
songs.
Yeah, the opposite of love songs. You know, the ones that happen after you thought you were in love with somebody, and then you find out, oh wait, no, this ain't what I wanted.
Oh, so like the day after I married Snop.
Something like that. Yeah, are we done with the reloading chat? You guys want to get in on the bracket? You get that? See where we go with this thing.
I guess so. I'm out here tearing my grill apart.
Buck's wife's gonna get home and she's gonna kill him. What did you do to the grill?
I'm gonna like drive up and down the alleys and steal one for myself.
Oh, geez, I can just visualize that in my head.
Just make sure that, well, you might as well go ahead, if you're going to steal one, grab one that's already got some meat on it. When they go in there and get some more sauce or something, just run up there and just grab that bitch and roll it away.
Buck's old lady's gonna walk in the house, see him screwed up the grill, wondering what the hell's going on. He's gonna say it's Jason's fault. He's the one who told me I should do this.
I'm gonna get some like chrome mag wheels for like a lawnmower and put on it, man. It's gonna
Oh
be
man, there
sweet.
was the town we used to live in. There was an old lady that had those on her scooter. You know, like the old lady, old guy scooters. You know, like Rick used to have. And she had like a go kart flag on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me some Kragers, man.
I don't know if they make them that small.
Oh no, man, they got like plastic lawnmower wheels that look like Krager mags, man.
I know they got them, but I'm talking actual Kragers.
I think I'm going to outline mine with LED lights.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna,
put
I'm gonna
Hook them up
steal
to the music.
I'm gonna get some kids like battery powered big wheel truck and take the wheels and rims off that.
put some ground effect lights on the bottom. Remember ground effect lights from back in the '90s?
Yeah, they got these damn rednecks around here got that shit on their trucks now.
Yeah, man. I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
those were real big back in the '90s. Made your car look like it was floating.
Apparently in
And shit.
2022 they are too.
yeah, I'm gonna put me a
You don't see them around here
Bluetooth.
anymore.
I'll get some Bluetooth speakers too, man, so I can cast and rock out all night long in the dark, no problem.
People used to put those multicolored fluorescent lights on the bottom of the cars. You don't see that shit no more around here.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and give me one of them 6-inch exhaust stacks off of Peterbilt's and put on mine.
Little vent
Dual
over top
exhaust.
that pop. Yeah.
Oh, there's some dickhead around here who's got those on his goddamn diesel pickup truck and makes so much goddamn noise when he goes by.
Yeah, I seen a guy going down the road the other day. His goddamn muffler is bigger than his fucking car.
Like
Oh,
those kids that get the Japanese cars and they put the loud ass muffler on it, thinking it makes their car cool.
Yeah, it sounds like a goddamn aggravated bumblebee.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of aggravated bumblebees, hi, Kingpin.
Hey, Kingpin.
I have no idea why I called you an aggravating bumblebee, so don't ask.
That's okay. What's up, everybody?
Hey, I'm gonna go in there and fix me a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, Rich. Well, fill him in on what you got in store.
We gotta wait for Buck to get back. Well, he knows
Well,
sort of.
Buck already knows.
Yeah. Well, we've been joined by Mike out there in the chat. So evening. Hold on a second.
I guess I'll have to do it, Kingpin. Rich has got a bracket set up for tonight. He's got breakup songs, but he doesn't have the breakup song as one of the choices. So, being what it is, that's what we're going to run through. So, people out there in the chat, Burnaby, Mike, you guys get to vote along too out there. So, that's what we got coming up here in a minute. The bracketry of breakup songs minus the actual song called the breakup song.
I imagine I'm supposed to know these imaginary bands that you guys make up tonight.
No.
You'll know because Rich went way back.
Oh yeah, I got
Way
some going all the way
back.
back to the '60s.
Does it at least have Every Rose Has Its Thorn?
Yes.
Okay. At least you picked that one.
Oh, I made sure that one got on there. That was like one of my favorite songs from the '80s. So yeah, that's definitely on there. That's like one song that everybody can relate to.
Yeah.
I think everybody's been there before. If you ain't living. You know what I mean? All right, let me go ahead and share this screen. Find it again. There it is. Everybody see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Close enough.
Yeah, maybe. I see a bunch of lines.
You see just a bunch of lines. Yeah. Are
Well,
you on
it's
your
a little,
phone or your computer?
No, I'm on the computer, but it's a little bit. I can see somewhat. Good enough.
you
I can make it. I can make it a little bit bigger, and you can full screen it too on the over on StreamYard. If you go to the bottom right hand corner of
Yeah.
the stream, you can make that screen full screen.
Okay, Rich, when I'm on full screen, can only see as far on the bottom as where it's Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah, because that's as
And
far down as
yesterday,
it. Yeah, I got to scroll down. See.
see, okay, there you go. Just so you know, when we get that far down, after
Yeah, I know.
the. Okay.
It's the same thing on my screen when I'm on that actual page.
Okay.
So, in the first bracket, we have Separate Ways, Worlds Apart by Journey, going up against Suspicious Minds by the king of rock and roll himself, Elvis Presley. So we will let the lady go first. Which one of those would you pick, Stacy?
That's a hard one. I love Journey, but Elvis is awesome too.
Yeah, those are both really good songs. That's going to be a kind of a thing throughout this whole bracket. You're going to be some hard choices on this one, I think.
Oh. Love Journey, but I'm going to have to go with Elvis.
All right, so that's one for Elvis. Jason, what do you think?
Well, the Journey is a good one on this one. I agree. But it's almost like the Journey one's been played to death, too. That song with Elvis was kind of more real and personal, right? Toward Priscilla. So, that's just more of a classic. So, I'll go with Elvis.
2 for the king. Buck?
Jason, you just said that because Stacy said it. But
Hey, don't knock it.
I am going with Elvis myself.
All right, that's
Things
3.
she said to you.
Kingpin, what do you think?
Well, you obviously know what time it is. You're gonna have to explain to me what this stuff is.
Breakup songs, man.
I know what a breakup song is, but what is like Journey? You say Journey, and I hear Kentucky. Like you guys say Journey, and you're like, oh yeah, that means this song. I don't know all these songs like that, so I don't
You
know.
don't know Journey Separate Ways?
Is
Separate
that
ways,
the name
worlds
of
apart. Come on, man.
what's the name of this song by Journey? I know the band Journey, but what is the name of this song?
Separate
Separate
ways
Ways.
I have no
slash
idea.
worlds apart. Yeah, that's the name of the song.
I have no
It's one of
idea.
their biggest hits, man.
Yeah.
How many Gravedigger songs do you know?
How many Who songs?
Exactly.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Gravediggers.
None, probably.
Well, there you go. And this Elvis song. I have no idea. Stacy, sing me a couple lyrics to each of these songs, please.
All right, give me a sec.
Please don't sound like snub when you sing.
I'm not going to put you guys. Mike says go with Elvis, so I'm going to pick Elvis.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Mike also says Gravedigger. Isn't that a monster truck? Yes, it was. There
Yeah,
still is.
that's with the hard R. Gravedigger is a uh, classified as gangsta rap. I don't know if that's what you want, but it's not. It's not for children's listening rap music.
I had 3 stepkids that was grave diggers. They's either digging theirs or mine.
Thought there was Gold Diggers. Same difference.
No, no.
Elvis wins that one. You know, the kings of the '80s power ballad lose to the king of rock and roll. I guess that's fitting. Both are great songs, by the way.
You just shouldn't have paired those two together.
Well, like I said, we're going to have a lot of these kind of decisions, hard decisions on this one. Let's see. Next one we have "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" by Poison. That Stacy was asking if it was on there. Against another classic, "I Heard It Through the Grapevine," but this is the Marvin Gaye version of the song, which is, in my opinion, the best version of the song. But it was also done by Creedence Clearwater Revival and Ike and Tina Turner.
Did you just assume, Marvin?
No, his last name's Gaye. That's not an assumption. That's a fact.
Good
I
thing we're
didn't-
not in Florida.
Yeah, he couldn't say his
Marvin,
last name in Florida.
Marvin,
according to the
whose name
Democrats.
shall not be mentioned.
Yeah, according to the Democrats, you can't say his name in Florida. So, got Poison versus Marvin Gaye. 2 very good songs here as well. So this time we will start with Buck. Which one do you think, Buck?
Damn, that put me on the spot. Marvin Gaye.
All right, Buck goes with Marvin Gaye, the late great Marvin Gaye. Jason, what do you think?
Oh, this one's really easy for me. Marvin Gaye, and I heard it through the grapevine, is maybe just a little tad farther back than my age group. But Every Rose Has Its Thorn from Poison, man. That's classic, man. That's almost like issued at birth in the 80s. So
Oh, dude.
it's got to be that.
Interesting little factoid about that song. Every Rose Has Its Thorn was the first song since the 1950s to hit the top of the rock, adult contemporary, country western, and Billboard Top 100.
Yeah, a lot of people sung that song too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, just the Poison version alone. A lot of people don't realize that hit the top of the charts in the country western chart. So we got one for each. Stacy, am I safe to assume you're going with Every Rose Has Its Thorn?
Do you even have to ask?
No, since you asked if that was on the chart.
You just saying that because Jason said it.
Oh, that's one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah, same. Well, I love both of these songs. So this one would be a hard choice for me. What about you, Kingpin? What do you think? Do you know both of these songs?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The Heard It Through the Grapevine is the Marvin Gaye song that we're talking about
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
That's not exactly a breakup song.
Oh, yes, it is. If you hear the
Yeah.
words,
Yes,
you listen
yes,
to it.
very much. But if music, especially a song that's is to no disrespect to the song to use this term, a cult classic like that, it's not really about breaking up anymore. It's more of you hear it and it's like time to get live, and the party's just warming up right there when that song comes on. So people don't treat it like I broke up with my girlfriend and I'm going to put my sad music on and I heard it through the grapevine kind of thing. That, it doesn't have that aura. So therefore, I definitely have to vote for Poison. And Poison's a better song anyway.
All right. So that one, Poison goes through to the next round. All right. Next one, we have Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler, one of the biggest hits of the 80s, against one of the biggest hits of the 70s, Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. And who goes first this time? Jason, you go first this time.
Jeez, boy. I guess both of them's an okay song. Neither one of them really mean a whole lot to me. I know that was like Bonnie's biggest hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of heard that one a lot more. The Ain't No Sunshine When You're Gone is kind of like more of a sadder song, and the Total Eclipse of the Heart, man, is more like she really did a really good job, man, and got like emotional in her singing and stuff. So I'll go with Bonnie Tyler.
All right. Kingpin, which one do you think?
Okay. If we're talking about just strictly musically based, it's a really tough one because the Total Eclipse song, the woman really sings it well, and generally people that cover it have that loud, booming, emotional voice. Uh, Bill Withers is clearly a better all around. The song was all better all around. So, for my personal opinion, I'm gonna go Bill Withers every time.
All right. Stacy?
Really tough choices. But gonna have to be Bonnie Tyler.
All right. Buck?
Yeah, Bonnie Tyler.
So Bonnie Tyler will move on. I'm gonna admit, "Ain't No Sunshine" is one of my favorite songs. So,
Yeah, I'm playing the rest of this game under protest.
Yeah,
yeah,
mine too.
that would have been my choice right
Both
there.
of them are good songs.
Yeah, both of them are very good songs. Next, we have "Go Your Own Way" by Fleetwood Mac, one of the biggest hits of the late '70s, against "End of the Road" by Boyz II Men, which is probably the only song by Boyz II Men I actually like, and it's a hell of a good song too. And it was everywhere when that song came out. That was in one of the Lethal Weapon movies, for crying out loud. So, who goes first this time? Kingpin does. Which one of those two would you pick? Are you going with Fleetwood Mac or Boyz II Men, Kingpin?
Oh, if we're talking, I mean, once again, music, Boys to Men, Fleetwood Mac needs to pack it up and go home. I mean, they have not even a fraction of the talent Boys to Men has, and that song, like you said, even though it's annoyingly everywhere, is a really, really great song, and they do a fabulous job performing. So,
So you're going with Boyz II Men. All right. Stacy?
End of the road. I love that song.
Jason?
He's still muted.
He
While he's
forfeits.
muted, I'm on a programming note. Mike voted for End of the Road, and then Pacifist, yes, this show is a day early. Wrestling show is tomorrow.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was muted.
Yeah, you were muted.
Okay,
That song ain't on there.
this one's easy for me because I have never, ever in my life heard "End of the Road" by Boys to Men.
Oh yes, you have.
I don't.
You
I
have.
don't
You
know.
just probably don't know it.
Then my brain rejected your reality then because I do not know Boys to Men. Do not know the song, but
I think
Go
that
Your
was in the
Own Way.
third.
by Fleetwood Mac, they probably play that at least once every day, once every 2 days on my radio at work. And I'm kind of guy that I like changing the words of songs when I hear them, making my own parody. And every time this one comes on, I just change the words to "You can grow your own weed." So I have fun with that song. So I'm gonna have to go with the Fleetwood Mac.
Right. Buck.
I'm going to have to go with Fleetwood Mac.
Ooh, this. All right, we're gonna throw this to the audience.
You only said that because Jason did.
We would have a good time on the job site, Jason.
Yeah, Jason talking about himself in the third person here.
I can't help it, man. I parody all kinds of songs, man. It's I don't know. I got a twisted mind.
Yeah, every song I hear, I say, "Let's go, Brandon."
Yeah, and fuck your Alice Cooper looking husband too.
This is gonna be a short poll. We're not gonna leave it up there for long, folks. So when I get it set up, vote, and we'll give you a few to get your votes in. So hold on. I'm just putting the band name. You should already, if you're paying attention, know what the songs are. So which one, folks? Boys to Men or Fleetwood Mac? When that poll pops up, vote and
Okay, man. Help me out here a little bit though. Even though I voted, this "End of the Road" song, you're all like, no, you've heard it, you've heard it. Was it from a movie or something?
Oh yeah, it was in Lethal Weapon 3.
Oh, okay.
It's been used in every soundtrack in every movie for the past 20 years, probably.
All right. I still go with the Mac.
I still ain't heard it, but my kids listen to it all the time.
Yeah, they've used it, a lot of times. It'll be used in a funeral scene in a movie and stuff too. It's
Do you guys-
vibe to it too.
Buck, Jason, do you guys like barbershop quartet type of music? Not the tingy, show tuney stuff, but actual rhythm and blues singing.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
This song sounds like something that could have been sung by the Four Tops or the Temptations back in the '60s and '70s.
You'll both enjoy.
Okay, no wonder I don't know.
Yeah, you'll both enjoy the song. It's a good quality song.
Yeah, it's a good song. And the audience, the audience ain't helping any. It's a 50-50 split out there.
Come on, man. Stevie Nicks, man.
Hey, do we get to
Come
vote
on.
in this?
Who
It
out there
helps.
wouldn't enjoy?
Yeah, you can vote, Buck. You can vote out there in the chat.
Too late, I already did.
Yeah,
I think that's why it's 50-50.
yeah. And the Fleetwood Mac song, right? That was about the breakup that half the band was going through with each other. You had Stevie Nicks breaking up with Lindsey Buckingham at the time. The other two members, the bassist and the one that played piano, their marriage was breaking up. I mean, so that's an actual breakup song by a band whose members were literally breaking up
Hey,
their
man.
relationships.
Love on the Rocks. Ain't no big surprise.
Well, I'm going to call it on the poll since we got one of them ahead now. And
Time
Boys
out.
the Men will move on.
What was the rest of that movie quote? Love on the rocks. It was from Donnie Brasco.
Oh shit,
It's
man.
Neil Diamond, dude.
That's a Neil Diamond song,
I
yeah.
know, but it would in the scene in Donnie Brasco, they're in the bar and uh, Al Pacino sitting over there banging on the coin machine with a hammer, and the dude that got killed, I can't remember what the guy's name was, but he comes up and he's like, "Love on the rocks, ain't no surprise," and then somebody else said something else.
Well, remember he was in Saving Silverman too, though, right? Remember they kidnapped Neil Diamond? They had him in the back of the truck, and they was explaining dude's situation about not he's gonna marry the wrong girl, and this girl here's the one that he really loves, and he don't know it, and all that shit. And Neil Diamond's like, "Hey man, love on the rocks, ain't no big surprise."
Man, I'm gonna have to go watch Donnie Brasco.
You can always just search the movie quote.
Yeah, that doesn't work too well. I'll give it a shot.
Much as I hate to say it, I'm gonna have to look up "Boys to Men" and listen to
Hey,
this song.
hey, easy when you type that into the internet. Now.
Yeah, be careful. You don't want to get the spelling
Oh
wrong.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I give you my word.
I ain't gonna do it.
Whether you like the group or not, you'll think that this is a decent song.
Yeah, like I said, this is probably the only one of their songs I actually like, but it's a really good song.
I'll get Stacy to sing a bar or two of it later.
You know it.
I'm sure she knows a lot about turning boys to men.
Uh-huh. It worked with Snob, maybe. I haven't figured that out yet.
Was that song you were singing to me, Stacy, when we was in the swimming pool?
Honey, we don't
And
talk about that.
oh, okay.
Alrighty, we're moving right along. Next, we have November Rain by Guns N' Roses, one of the biggest hits of the early 90s, against You Lost That Lovin' Feelin' by the Righteous Brothers, which was a hit in 2 different decades thanks to the movie Top Gun.
Wait a second.
Damn, both of them are good songs.
What happened in the last contest?
Oh, Boys to Men moved on.
Okay.
So we start with Stacy again.
GNR.
All right. Jason?
Well, these are both really good songs. And I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan. But I'm going to have to go with
No
the
buts.
Righteous Brothers on this one. Because when I was telling you earlier about how I like changing the words at work on the songs, if you want to make up a funny song, anytime you come across the word love or lovin', just change that to rubbin'. And so I'm going to go with You've Lost That Rubbin' Feeling by the Righteous Brothers.
Alrighty. Buck?
Wait a minute. You'll have to give me a minute.
You've got to recover from that joke by Jason, that much? Okay.
I don't know what Jason was rubbing, but I'm gonna have to go with that one too. I like that song.
All right. Kingpin?
Guns N' Roses.
Ooh, so we throwing another one out there to the audience here. Yeah.
Mike already said Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, but that's only one vote. The whole audience didn't
Yeah.
count. So
Vote twice there, Mike.
all right. It should pop up here in a second, and y'all out there can vote. Is it GNR with November Rain or the Righteous Brothers with You Lost That Lovin' Feeling? The remember, panel, if you have the YouTube window open, you can vote us. You can vote in that poll as well.
Oh Lord, we going another tie.
Another, yeah, it's another 50-50 with, with 4 votes in. Oh, GNR takes lead at 60-40 with 5 votes.
Yeah, I think I might start waiting like Kingpin news.
You guys definitely lost that rubbing feeling.
Mhm. All right. We're up. I don't think we're going to get any more votes, so I'm going to call that, and Guns N' Roses will move on. And I just happen to be wearing a Guns N' Roses shirt right now, too. So I do like that. You lost that love and feeling. So that's a good song. That was one of the songs we used to play in the jazz band when I was in high school.
Was Jason just rubbed out? That's yeah. Continue.
Yeah.
We should have had a
go.
bigger bracket because I'm looking at the top 10 breakup songs. I'm surprised Unchained Melodies isn't on there.
Well, that's a love song. That's not a breakup song.
It's on the top 10 breakup songs. I'm kind
Is it
of
really?
yeah, and then there was some other
On-
like Nothing-
on what
Nothing
list?
Compares to You, which is an awesome song.
Oh, God, I hate that song.
I love that
I
song.
absolutely hate that song.
How Do I Live Without You by Leanne Rimes. Don't Speak by No Doubt. That was really good.
Oh, God, I hate that song, too.
You ought to know.
What about that ssong "Crazy Bitch"?
Oh, wait a second. Yeah, I
Where's
was
that?
thinking. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
You know, for the longest time, and, you know, that was my ringtone that Snob had on his phone for me.
Jesus Christ.
And wait a second. Hold up. While we're waiting, Jason heard my rubbed out comment. That's fine. Wait, you said No Doubts song? What that was? You don't like that song?
I do not like No Doubt at all. I don't like any of their songs.
Wow. I can't think of the name of the song right now. You guys just said it.
Don't Speak.
Yeah, that's
Good
song.
God. I can't stand that song. Never could.
Oh, I love that song.
Is
Gwen
Jason in the background?
Gwen Stefani is one of the most overrated, untalented singers ever.
That's true. Yeah, Jason's in the back.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
weird.
I'm pretty jealous of Gwen Stefani right now.
But think about this. Music isn't based on actual musical talent. Because if we only like singers that could quote unquote sing, 99% of the music that we listen to wouldn't exist. Because Elvis couldn't sing. Guns N' Roses guy, he can't sing.
He sure was hot though.
All the most popular artists right now aren't like really singing, but they have a sound that people enjoy. And it's a marketable sound that people enjoy. So we call it music.
Hey man, Axel could whine with the best of them, man.
But that's what I mean. If you got an alien from outer space and said this is what singing is, you should probably put like an opera singer up there. They can hit different notes and hold notes and do all that kind of stuff. If you want, hey, this is musical entertainment, then you put somebody like Axl Rose or something like that up.
Yeah.
Enrico Palazzo.
The previous bracket, if you want to go people that could sing, you would pick the Righteous Brothers.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we can move on. Jason's back.
Yep. I didn't know he had dropped out. If somebody drops out, somebody's got to let me know because I'm on a different screen.
Yeah, man.
I told you he was rubbed out.
It bumped me right back to backstage.
Yeah, I'm just saying, keep in mind that if one, in case I don't catch on to the fact, don't let me know.
It's because Jason chose wrong, so it kicked him out.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Okay, who's next?
Well, Buck should have been
Jason
throwing that feet on if I would've
No, Jason was rubbing too hard. That's all that was.
he had that rubbing feeling a little too hard, too rough,
I'm not-
too harshly.
I'm not feeling the rub in the room tonight.
All right. Okay, moving right along. Next we have Tracks of My Tears by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, all the way from back in the 1960s. and probably Willie Nelson's biggest hit, "Always on My Mind." So, let's see who goes first this time. Jason goes first this time, I believe.
No, I went first last time.
Oh, did you? Well, Stacy went first last time.
How come you didn't put any Grateful Dead songs on here?
Because I only know a couple and they're not breakup songs.
That's fair. That's fair.
So who's going first?
I think it's Jason's supposed to go first because you went first last time, didn't you?
All right. I'll
Who's
go
on second?
first.
I went
Yeah.
first the very first time.
You went first last time too.
Did I? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, somebody's got to be on
Oh
second.
yeah, I did go first.
My vote's the only one that counts, so please hurry up and get to me.
My first time was my first time.
Well, Jason, it's your turn now.
Okay. Well, man, I'd have to rehear the Smokey Robinson one. I'm sure I've heard it before. But Willie Nelson, always on my mind. That is a beautiful song. That's a wonderful song. I always like some of Willie's bigger hits, man. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, man. That's always a sentimental one to me from Willie, man. And this one is too. So I mean, this one, hands down by like, it's got to be always on my mind. If it ain't, it's rigged like Biden's election.
All right, so Jason's going with the redheaded stranger.
Rich, stop the
Oh.
show because you don't understand sarcasm. Jason is not in the chat anymore.
Uh-huh.
What the hell, man? Every time I hit mute, okay, I'm going to hit mute. If I disappear, let me back in.
Okay, you weren't thrown out that time.
Jason, if you want to learn how to use the internet, Patriot in the Dark can teach you how to use it, man.
I'm just going to leave it unmute and use the button here on the microphone.
All right, Buck.
Oh, we got to go with Willie.
All right, Kingpin.
This is a bracket about music, and Willie Nelson isn't music, so Smokey Robinson, of course. You shouldn't even have put them in the same. It's a shame that you put them in the same bracket, unless you just wanted Willie Nelson to get stomped.
No, I just made a list and put them in as I made the list.
Yeah, I figured that much. I'm just being a little bit dramatic right now because you can't really compare Smokey Robinson to Willie Nelson. I like Willie Nelson, but musical talent, he's not. No.
All right, Stacy.
Willie Nelson.
Yeah, so Willie moves on.
And I totally understand Willie Nelson winning because he is
Oh.
enjoyable to listen to. I like Willie Nelson music, but when I teach the space aliens what music is, he's not going to do it.
I thought you were gonna riot, but okay.
Can't believe said
So-
Willie.
It's a Willie Nelson riot. All right. Next, we have "Yesterday" by the Beatles against "All Odds" by Phil Collins. And
I went first last time.
Buck's turn to go first.
Oh, damn. I'm going with the Beatles.
All right, Kingpin.
I'm not too sure about what's the Phil Collins song.
Against All Odds from the movie of the same name.
I can't get there with you. I wasn't aware that there was such a thing.
Oh
Well,
my
I know
God.
Phil Collins, and I do enjoy Phil Collins' music. The Beatles have maybe two good songs. Phil Collins, even though I don't know the song that we're speaking of.
Oh, it's a good song. Let's see, Stacy.
Phil Collins.
Jason. Did we lose Jason again?
Okay, I'm dealing with two mute buttons now, man. Against All Odds is what I gotta pick. That's a great song. The movie was pretty cool too, actually, man. I can't remember the chick's name, but it was that hot little chick that
Was
was
it
in
Deborah
Convoy.
Winger?
No, it wasn't Deborah Winger. But yeah, that was a good song. Always is. And the movie was pretty good too, man. Uh, so that's the one I'm picking.
Yeah, both of those are great songs. Yesterday by the Beatles is one of my all-time favorite songs, and so is Against All Odds.
Defense Dad has joined the chat. Yo, Defense Dad. Hopefully, Thunder on the Prairie went well today. And Gun Toting Pacifist says, I need a title for my short I'm about to publish. Golf/gun range day.
That works. Golf/gun range day. There you
Call it rubbing every minute of it.
go. I don't know if that would stand up on YouTube. No, unless he wants to make it a gay channel, and then it might. Because it's
He
Pride
can
Month.
do that. He's not in Florida.
Yeah, it's Pride Month. He might be able to get away with that now. All right. So anyway, moving right along, we have "When Doves Cry" by Prince versus "It Must Have Been Love" by Roxette. Both good songs from the '80s. Kingpin, which one?
I'm not too sure about the Roxette song. I am familiar with Roxette.
Okay. Have you seen Pretty Woman?
Yeah.
Okay. When her and Richard Gere are breaking up, when
Stop.
he
Stop.
what? Yeah, that's the song that was playing in the background.
Stop.
Do I need to
I'm
sing
trying to
that
get an
intro?
idea what song it is.
I know, but I was trying to just be helpful and keep you from wasting the rest of your sentence. As soon as I understand that what you're telling me isn't computing, I'll just tell you to stop.
Oh,
Because there's no way in the world, if my life depended on me, there's no way in the world what you were about to say was going to make any sense to me. When Doves Cry, obviously, definitely.
all right. Stacy?
It must have been love.
Jason?
Oh man, it's as much as I hate to, but it's got to be Roxette, man. And it ain't got nothing to do with the movie. And I'm kind of like stunned that like Rich thinks of that song. He thinks of that movie and that scene and everything. My brain wouldn't even have registered that.
You know how I know? You know how
I wouldn't
know,
have wasted
honestly?
any
I
hard
watched-
drive space
No.
on that.
No, you know how I know? You know how I know that was the song at that scene in the movie? Because I watched the damn music video earlier, trying to remember what song it was.
And some things you just can't unforget, Rich.
All right, so that's 2 for Prince, right? And 1 for.
No, I said Roxette.
Oh, you said Roxette. Yeah, that's okay. 2 for Roxette and 1 for Prince. All right, Buck.
Prince.
All right, we're sending another one to you guys out there in the audience.
And now Defense Dad's out there, so maybe it'll help jostle up the percentages.
Yep, you guys out there in the audience, you got to vote. Is it Prince or is it Roxette?
Both are good songs.
I can't believe you don't have the breakup song in here.
Dude, I don't even know. I don't even know if I know what song you're even talking about. So.
It's the breakup song. That is the name of the song. The breakup song.
I'm gonna
That
be like
crazy
Kingpin.
bitch.
Just stop. You can tell me the name of the song 50 times, and I probably still won't know what the song you're talking about.
Well, you know the song Ain't As Good As I Once Was? Are you guys all familiar with that song? What's that, Toby
Yeah.
Keith?
Yeah.
All right, so I never could understand what he meant by I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was.
Uh-huh.
So I asked my boss all the time. I was like, what does he mean by that? And his answer to me was he would repeat the lyric. He'd just go, it means I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't understand what he means by that. And then his answer would be just to repeat now this one
Yeah,
on
just
for
stop. In
years.
other words, stop and think about it.
No, but that's what I mean. He didn't even say that. He just repeated this lyric to the song, and this went on for years. One day I was telling my roommate the story, and he said, do you know what it means?" I was like, "No." And then he actually explained what he meant, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense."
Yeah, it was basically like when my son and I discovered my wife had no idea what the Who were singing about in the song "Squeeze Box." You know, Mama's got a squeeze box. Daddy doesn't sleep at night. And my wife didn't get what the innuendo in that song was. I was like, "You should. You got two of them." And then she was like, "Oh my god!" In the car, and her face got beat red.
Do y'all remember that song by James Brown? All I want to
But
do is play with my ding-a-ling. Anybody remember that one?
Well, I may not be good, but I know what good's supposed to be.
I may not be good, but at least I don't care.
mhm. Man, we're at 50-50 on this one with 4 votes
Oh, let
in.
me give a vote. Hold on, I forgot. Prince. There you go. That should fix that.
All right.
I told you my vote was the only one that counted, so
Yeah, apparently.
That's the world we live in, man.
As soon as
Middle
you
of the
vote, another
night
person
votes.
but they
Votes
voted
under the table.
the same way you did.
look,
So we
yeah,
got 6 votes in. We're gonna call this one.
I will be an
And
excellent dictator. I promise.
all right.
Ballot harvesting.
Oh no! Once no ballots are done. Once I'm in there, believe me. I won't put you guys through that anymore. I'll take care of it.
Okay, Joe.
No more voting.
We're gonna change your name to Joe from now on.
Oh no, yeah, please. You'll be saying, remember the good old days when Joe Biden was in president? Who knew that Kingpin would be such a psychopath? And then somebody would be like, well, we all did because he said he would be.
His name's King. What the hell?
He said that he'd be an excellent
He's the
dictator.
king of the pin people. What did you expect?
No. Detective Obvious. It was right there the whole time.
Yeah, marching through the streets will just be a bunch of bowling pins. It'll be mass chaos.
Squibby sent me a text today and said, hey man, you made it to the Thunder on the Prairie. And there was a picture of a bowling pin there. All right, since I told you that Prince won, we can move on to let me tell you what when's the next one.
Well, it's not your turn.
Well, it does. I told you. Hurry up, guys. Get back to my turn.
I think no. Whose turn is it?
I'll give you all the right answers.
Yeah, Stacy's turn. Stacy did first. Elvis or Prince, Stacy, or Poison? Elvis
Poison.
or Poison? All right, Jason.
Ah. I don't know, man. I've lived a lifetime of jealousy and false accusals, man. So I gotta go with Elvis.
Both of these songs fall into that category, though. If you know the story behind Every Rose Has Its Thorn, it's almost the same story behind Suspicious Minds. So, but you're going with Elvis?
Yeah, because
All right. Buck? Oh, you were
I'm
going to
gonna
say
go with
something, Jason?
Poison.
Okay. What were you going to say, Jason? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
nothing. I'm done. Elvis.
Okay. Okay,
My,
I thought
my
you were going
vote
to
is
say
for Elvis. Both of
Okay.
them.
okay. Kingpin?
I'm sorry. Did you call on me?
Yes, I did.
Oh, my bad. Oh, the Elvis song's pretty good. Now I'm familiar. Stacy sent me the song, so I know which Elvis song it is. So it's pretty popular. Uh, but as far as what I consider it in this bracket, like a sad breakup song, and then compare it to the Poison song, Poison.
All right, so Poison will move on again.
Heck yeah, I'm glad you guys had a good time defense that. I'm looking forward to seeing the videos that come out. And thank you, by the way, for putting that together. That's a tip of the hat to you, man. I know there was a lot of logistical stuff to go on and a big chance to take. So I'm glad that you stuck your neck out there and tried it, man. So
Yeah.
congratulations to you.
And Squib briefly went live from their Thor and Rick show earlier. Somebody was firing something full auto in the background, and he talked to Travis a little bit on there. So if you haven't seen Rick's show from earlier today, go back and watch the replay and check that out.
So did Poison beat Elvis?
Yes.
Okay.
Next we got
It wasn't poison. It was the drugs.
uh well, if you want to look at it a certain way, you could say the drugs were poison.
Hey man, one man's poison's another man's pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself.
I think Elvis had more poison around him than just the drugs. Some human-shaped poison was
This
probably
is true.
Elvis's biggest problems.
Mm-hmm. You like the Colonel?
Like pretty much everyone in that dude's life, unfortunately.
Hey
Mhm.
man, don't talk about Red West like that. Red West was a good friend.
All right. So moving right along.
till they burned his auto parts store down in Roadhouse.
Mm-hmm. And next we have Bonnie Tyler versus Boys the Men. Jason, you go first this time.
Well, I know Boys to Men is just like one of the greatest songs of all time, and it really chokes me up when I hear it. But I have to go with Total Eclipse of the Heart.
All right. Well,
Bonnie Tyler.
Kingpin.
Get out of here.
Um,
Boys to Men, obviously, clearly.
Stacy.
Tough choice.
Well, look here, man. All you gotta do is think of the words. Once upon a time, there was light in my life. Now there's only rub in the dark.
Oh, that's hilarious. Bonnie Tyler.
Tyler moves on.
Double protest.
Kingpin's gonna riot by the time we're done.
Hey, I'm pretty good with protesters now, so you know.
All right. Next we have Guns N' Roses and Willie Nelson. And Buck, you go first. I bet that's a sentence you never thought you would ever hear somebody say. We have Guns N' Roses with Willie Nelson. That would be an interesting crossover.
I thought you meant someone saying, Buck, you go first.
I know. I'm gonna go with Willie Nelson.
All right. Stacy? Oh, no, Kingpin.
What's the Willie Nelson song?
Always on my mind.
I guess I was muted. Don't tell Snob, but I'm going with GNR.
This is a little bit more of a fair comparison. I'm going to have to go with Guns N' Roses, though. Tip of the hat to Willie on this one. This is a little bit more. I mean, he shouldn't be in this round anyway. But against Guns N' Roses with these two songs, Guns N' Roses.
All right. And just for shits and giggles, Jason, which one would you have picked?
Well, man, Willie Nelson's always on my mind. Didn't Elvis also sing that song?
Yes, he did.
So
And
it was
so did
such
Neil
a good
Diamond. And,
song that everybody else sang it.
oh,
And it
yeah.
was a huge hit for Elvis, probably bigger for him than Willie. So, you know,
That was a hit song for a lot of people.
I'll never smoke weed with Willie again, but I guess I'll vote for his song.
All right. Next, we have Phil Collins against Prince. Kingpin, Phil Collins against all odds or Prince When Doves Cry?
Unfortunately for Phil Collins, I don't recollect this song. So I'm just gonna have to go with Prince on this one.
All right. Stacy?
It's not one of my Prince songs. I love her Purple Rain. That's the best song he had. So I'm going to have to go with Phil Collins.
All right. Jason?
Yeah, I'll continue with Phil Collins, man. Against All Odds is a good song.
All right. Buck?
Uh, Prince.
So we go to the audience again.
Damn, take a look at me now.
There's just an empty space. All right, this should show up in a minute here. There you go. Go ahead and vote now, folks. Phil Collins or Prince? Who moves on?
Dig, if you will, a picture.
You got 3 votes and it's 4 votes and it's 50-50. I get one thing. The crowd is consistent. You get the 4 votes and it's a split. It's happened every time at 4 votes.
I think the same 4 in the chat here is the same 4 in the
Yeah, voting out
chat.
there.
Yeah.
Well, no, because remember, Kingpin was the deciding vote on the crowd vote the one time.
How could you just leave me standing?
Man, come on, people. We need more votes. We need somebody to break this tie. I can't vote on it because I ain't allowed to vote in my own
Hey,
damn
Rhonda,
poll.
grab your phone and vote. Get on this chat and vote.
Wait. Wait.
Maybe you're just like your mother.
She's never satisfied.
Point of parliamentary presentation. What is that? Personal persona. I got a timeout called. You can't. You haven't been voting, Rich.
No.
Why?
Why? Because in here, my vote wouldn't have mattered because everybody else is all. By the time I got a chance to vote, it's been undecided, and I decided not to vote. I decided to give the tiebreaker to the YouTube.
So
audience.
you're saying you're just not voting in your poll, not in the bracket.
Yeah, I can't. By the time it gets to me in the bracket, and that's, it's like it's pointless for me to vote. So when it comes to the tiebreakers, I've been giving them to the crowd. So I'm just having you 4 vote, and then if there's a tie, I'm throwing it out there to the audience. Because Jason told the audience they would get a vote too when I had to step away for a second when he was going through the rules, even though that wasn't a rule I set. But since Jason told these people this, I just honored it.
It's
should
Electoral
definitely be a vote.
College.
Like
Damn, we have 6 votes.
Even the president can vote for himself.
But I can't vote in YouTube polls. The YouTube poll that's out there, I can't vote in.
That's understandable and that's fine. But definitely, like,
That's all I was saying.
the host of the show should definitely be voting in the bracket.
Yeah, well, I'm giving my vote to the people.
Just like we had, didn't we have this discussion with the quizzes?
It's the
Like, if you don't
people's
know,
vote.
if you know the answer to all the quizzes because you've seen the answers, of course you can't vote. But if you don't know the answers, then you should be guessing too. You're leaving.
Yes,
What you're doing
I
is
am being a being a nice ruler and letting the people vote. Be quiet. All right, we got 7 votes and we got somebody in the lead, so I'm calling that.
All
Phil
right,
Collins
who using their alternate accounts?
Oh, Phil Collins won that one. So
YouTube deleted my other account.
But no. See, what you're not understanding is if I don't vote and everything and I don't go first, it's a perfect set of four, and there's four of you, so I know who goes first by the time we get to the top of the next round. So
Man,
at
this
least that worked
shaped
with the
up.
first two rounds anyway.
This is a shitty ass semifinal right here.
All right, so we got Poison versus Bonnie Tyler, and Stacy, you're first.
Poison.
Jason,
Yeah, I'll go with Poison. I can see how this one's gonna shake out.
Buck,
Poison.
and Kingpin, even though it's a foregone conclusion.
Alright, so I can't really make fun of the bracket anymore, so I guess I should start telling like school shooting jokes or something, right?
All right. Yeah, we're not going to do that. All right. So Poison moves on to the final. Uh, moving on. Jason, you're up. Guns N' Roses or Phil Collins?
Even though I've been pulling Phil along here, this is Guns N' Roses' November Rain, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, we're gonna go with Guns N' Roses and have a Axel versus Sean shootout.
No, that's Brett. Sean's the wrestler.
There's three of them. It'll be a three-way match.
Shawn Michaels versus Brett Michaels versus Axl Rose.
Well done.
And Bret Hart. I meant Bret Hart.
Well, now it's a four-way.
Hey,
Exploding barbed wire match.
that's kinky now, Rich. I like the way you're talking.
I'd buy a ticket to see that. That'll be a hell of a match.
And the barbed wire. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Barbed wire exploding death match?
Yeah.
You two kids have a good time tonight.
Y'all bring the sparklers.
So, okay. Jason's voted. Buck, Guns N' Roses, or Phil Collins?
Guns N' Roses.
Kingpin
Guns N' Roses.
and Stacy.
GNR.
That's a unanimous one.
I would have
Mainly
laughed
because-
my ass off if she would have said Phil Collins.
Partially because Kingpin doesn't know who the hell Phil Collins is, apparently.
I know Phil Collins.
I sent him the song.
You sent him the song? Was he listened to it yet?
I don't know.
I did not. I listened to the album song, but I didn't listen to the.
I thought I sent it to him.
You did.
Okay.
Okay. Now we got
It's not as good as November Rain. I mean, I'm a big Phil Collins fan, but it's not as good.
No.
As November Rain.
two of the preeminent bands to come out of the 80s, believe it or not. Poison and Guns N' Roses going head-to-head in the final.
Now let's lay down some understanding here. Are we clearly just putting these two songs against each other in this category?
Yes.
Okay, so just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm verifying each vote.
And we've been joined by gun-toting pacifist, who is late as hell.
Sorry, I was putting together a little short that I spent a lot of time doing today. Probably the most work I've put in on any shorts that I've done. But
Yeah.
thanks for the invite, Rich. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we know the truth. You didn't want to go through the rest of the bracket. You just wanted to come in here and vote on the final.
Well, to tell you the truth, I really didn't want to enter any bracket that involved Poison getting this far. Like, are you serious?
Well, it's that song, that specific song.
Yeah, it's not the band, it's the song.
What song is it again?
Every Rose Has Its Thorn. You know, the song that
Okay.
went to number one on 4 different charts at the same time.
The song about the stripper.
No, that's the one about him getting dumped by his girlfriend.
Who was the stripper?
You know, the one that he wrote in the laundromat after getting kicked out of his apartment by his girlfriend. True story, by the way. Professor Rock has a good video on the story about how the song got written and stuff. You guys, if you're interested in any of this, the backstory on any songs or bands or anything, and you're not subscribed to Professor of Rock, go over there and subscribe to his channel. He's got some really good videos on the backstory of different songs and artists and whatnot. He does some really interesting videos on that stuff.
Well, you're breaking my heart, Rich. I'm sure he had no problem finding another girlfriend.
Well, he thought that she was the one, and it turns out she wasn't.
Yeah, good thing he found the one 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did like a whole reality show where he found like multiple ones.
Uh-huh.
See,
Well,
if
he hurt
he'd
him
been
so
listening
bad.
to-
didn't
if he'd been listening to Willie, the one would have always been on his mind. Even if that was against all odds. It's a chance he
Uh-huh.
had to take.
he? Yeah, and when they when they throw you out of the apartment, that's when doves cry.
I heard it all through the grapevine.
And it was the end of the road.
Can we get a fact check on whether or not doves actually cry or not?
There's tears in my beer.
You
Here's a
must be
quarter.
you
Call
must be a-
somebody who cares.
Jason, you must be a father of 12 because those are like the biggest dad jokes that you're spinning right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're making those are actually puns, but yeah.
Or puns, yeah.
Rapunzel. Rebuta the Buta.
How long's it going to take you to type poison down in the winter box?
Well, because we haven't decided who wins yet. Because we went that on a rabbit hole of trying to fit all these songs into a story for random reasons.
So it's
Okay.
Poison versus what's the song from Guns N' Roses?
November Rain.
Oh,
So since you just got in here, Pacifist, we'll let you go first. Every Rose Has Its Thorn or November Rain.
I'm definitely going with November Rain.
All right. And Buck.
Guns N' Roses.
Right. Kingpin.
Poison.
All right. Stacy.
Poison.
And Jason, you got the deciding vote.
Okay. Now, let's break it down and look at the song.
I lost my rubbing feeling.
Yeah.
That lost in the first round somehow.
Poison's a good song, right? And it's popular and it's catchy and everybody likes to sing along to it. But it's what? A 3-minute song? If that, with only a couple courses, a couple verses. On the other hand, November Rain, if
It's like
you want to
11
stop
minutes.
and listen to that song, my God, what it took to write that in the lyrics and the music to that song. Hell, Slash had like, what, 4 guitar solos or something in that?
Yeah,
And
that song's
the
like
video-
11 minutes long.
Yeah, there's just like 1,000 times more talent over there on Guns N' Roses if you want to match these two songs up. It's clearly Guns N' Roses. Like, seriously, yeah, Slash had like 4 guitar solos or some shit.
Oh,
Man.
yeah. No joke. That song is one of the longest songs to ever go to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah, and like you can like add orchestra and shit. Didn't they do like MTV with a damn
Yeah.
orchestra
Well,
in the background?
there's an orchestra in the song.
Yeah, you can't put an orchestra in the back of Every Rose Has Its Thorn, man.
And
So-
that whole album, Use Your Illusion, was pretty freaking good.
1 and 2.
I think
Well,
that November
well-
Rain was that 1 or 2.
I think that was on 1. But it doesn't matter because the whole thing about it being 1 and 2 was the record labels doing. They wanted to do it as one double album, and the record label said no because the two albums were too big to be a double album. So they made them release it as 2 separate albums, which, by the way, gave Guns N' Roses the accomplishment that only the Beatles had done before, and Guns N' Roses did it twice. They they had at the same time #1 and #2 albums on the top 100 album charts. The only other band to do that was the Beatles, and they only did it once. Guns N' Roses did it twice. The first time with Appetite for Destruction and Lies, and the second time with Use Your Illusions 1 and 2.
It's the world's most dangerous band.
That was the only band that my father like for his time, modern band in the '90s. That's the only band that he was into was Guns N' Roses. Everything else was old school stuff for him.
So, well, there's your winner, folks. November Rain by Guns N' Roses wins the breakup song bracket.
Breakup song, my ass.
Well, every one of those songs had something to do with somebody breaking up with somebody.
Uh-huh. I remember my ex old lady. She sent me like Scorpion, "Still Loving You," and I sent her back "Freebird."
Well, obviously she either wasn't still loving you or didn't understand what still loving you was about, because that's a breakup song too. That could have been on this bracket. So she may have been trying to tell you something, Jason.
Oh, I've heard enough from her.
So what else we got to talk about now?
Anybody go to the range this weekend?
I'm running low on lung busters.
A lot of people out in Nebraska did. It
Oh
sounded like
yeah, where's Defense Dad?
he's
That
out
was
there in the
today. Huh?
chat. Yeah.
Hey,
I
I
didn't
tell-
go to, yet, but I'm going tomorrow, hopefully.
I tell you what, man, we need to take all of this. We're just talking, and that's great. They did their Thunder on the Prairie, and we're glad for that. We'd love to see that. We need to take that momentum and carry it on. We need to have another one. We need to have some more. Let's have one here toward the East Coast, man.
Yeah, we've already been
Yeah.
talking about
The
that.
Georgia Shooting Connections was talking about a place in like Middle Tennessee or someplace like that. Man,
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of us
close
could.
to me there,
a lot
yeah.
of us could get to Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee. Or,
I think it's a place called Dead Zeros where they go. 1,000
Yeah,
yards.
Dead Zero, yeah.
yeah,
I gotta look
Tennessee.
into that because I think
Yeah, we don't need something all like these guys out here at Defense Debt. They did a big thing. We could, just even get-togethers. We don't need sponsors or full autos or anything. But a
Tennessee
mid
would,
East Coast get-together or whatever.
yeah,
Of
Tennessee
course,
would be good
anybody out west is welcome if they can make it that far.
Tennessee would be good too, because that's constitutional carry, so you wouldn't have to worry about having a permit or anything. That would have reciprocity.
I'd have to drive through New York, New Jersey.
Just fly, brother.
Well,
Just
that's
fly.
you would have to do the same thing no matter where we were having it. We could have it in Pennsylvania, and you would have to do the same thing.
Yeah, but I think that if you have it locked in your trunk and separate from your ammunition locked, that you can drive through states like New York and New Jersey. I know you can in Massachusetts.
You should buy an amphi car and just come all the way down the coast. And go right up in the Baltimore Harbor, and I'll pick you up from there.
He would still have to go through Massachusetts.
You could fly to Ohio, man, about an hour, and I'll give you a gun from there on out.
Well, I know you can put it in your luggage.
Okay, what you need to do is go across Vermont, rent a boat, go down through the lakes. Hit Lake Erie to Erie, and then rent a car in Erie, and then drive south down Interstate 79 through Pennsylvania. You'll skip Maryland, you'll skip New York.
Drive on down through, stop, pick up Rob. Come on down through, pick up
I'll
barbecue.
I'll rent a trophy boat out of Bar Harbor, and I'll pick up Kingpin on the way down.
Yeah, if you go to New York and pick up Rob, y'all can ride his Honda all the way rest of the way. Good gas mileage.
We can make it like halfway in his Honda.
Or you know what?
With
We
his
could all
friends.
just man up. We could all just man up, and we could all meet in New York.
Yeah,
Say
God,
screw their law. Say screw their laws. You won't stop us.
2 middle fingers flying.
they'll meet us at the border.
I'm sorry. The adjustable stock on my AR identifies itself as an Ohioan.
No, seriously, the Tennessee wouldn't be bad.
Tennessee's
Tennessee,
beautiful.
yeah, Tennessee, Virginia, down in that area. Right around that same area, because you got where Tennessee, Virginia, Kentucky, and like North Carolina all just about meet in that one spot. That would be.
Yeah, I'd love to get behind a rifle for 1,000 yards.
We can all meet
Yeah.
at my son's house. That's where all my guns are at.
SIG up here in New Hampshire has a 1,000-yard range. There's one in southern Massachusetts as well that has a 1,000-yard range.
We ain't got
Right,
enough flat land.
What is it?
So we don't got enough flat land.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, unless you go from like top to top, mountain top to mountain.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, you got to shoot top to mountain top.
If you get up on 70 near the Cumberland Gap, like where you're at the peak, plenty more than 1,000 yards from peak to peak.
Yeah, but that's in Maryland. I'm talking about in West Virginia.
And you're shooting at those altitudes. What matter? The states don't matter. Those lines don't go that high.
Yeah, if you
Just
can
an
believe it, there's one in
imaginary
Massachusetts.
line on a map.
Right north of the Rhode Island border is a 1,000-yard range.
Hell, the whole state of Rhode Island's only 1,000 yards.
I
Right.
think there's one down here in Southwest Ohio too. 1,000 or 1,200 or something like that.
Yeah, we
I've
got a
had
brand
enough
new
time.
one.
I've had
We
enough
got-
time shooting at 400.
So we got a brand new range opened up here. It's 2,300 yards.
2,300. Nice.
The hell, they
Yeah.
open up a civilian tank range?
No, it was an old golf course out here by the airport, and it's called Twisted Barrel.
We got a lot of them here, except we call them racetracks, and we drag race cars down them.
You know what? With a 2,300-yard range, of course, it has a really cool name like Twisted Barrel.
Oh yeah, it's nice. They got a little pistol range out there.
Shit, that's where you go to shoot 50 cows. Take a 1 mile shot.
Yeah, me and Trey went out there when he was doing that competition shoot, and they had a thing out there. They said anybody wants to, they can take a chance on shooting a mile. Well, it's a little over a mile long, but we left.
I think Jerry Michalek did that with a 38 special upside down.
Uh-huh.
So what are you taking to the range tomorrow, Buck?
Probably my 45 and my 9, and probably the 300. All I got to do is walk out back.
Sweet.
I handled one of them Gerson Berettas today.
I mean, they're pretty nice, ain't they?
Not too bad. For the price, especially this one was used. Man, it's one hell of a copy. Some of the things are pretty cool that's different about it. Wasn't a big fan of the like Glocky type finger groove thing on it, but the rest of the gun seemed just fine. I mean, it didn't come with a nice trigger or anything, but it was surprised me, really. It really surprised me. Beretta magazines don't fit it. They fit it, they lock in, but they don't pop out when you release it. So I don't know what that deal is, but
Yeah, I got to find me some extra mags for mine.
the ones here at the shop were Metgar and said Gerson on them, but they were 18 round Metgars. But an 18 round Beretta mag, it'd go in and lock in, like I said, but it wouldn't fall out. You had to pull it out. But yeah, I was kind of okay with it. It's I can't believe it's that much money though. I mean, I really can't. My gun shop's got one that looks like it's never been fired, and he wants $330 or something for it. And he showed me the original price tag on it, and it was like $399, $407, something like that.
Yeah,
I
they
was just
don't
like-
cost a lot.
Yeah, I was very
The
surprised.
base, the base model one. 'Cause that would be the base model. Because they also have the higher tier like competition ones, and you're still not gonna spend like you would for one of the competition model 92s. and you're getting a gun that's just about as good as those.
The only thing I don't see why. I'd just be concerned with the barrel and the locking block on it. I don't know how they could produce that for that cheap a price. I don't know, but everything else on fit and finish, the way stuff was made on it, it was a exact replica, man. It was decent quality.
Yeah, their 1911s are the same way, man. They're 19. If you get a chance to handle one of their 1911s, their 1911s are excellent fit and finish on those too.
Yeah, the one I got, the guy told me is a Wilson Combat clone. The 1911 I got, and that bitch is pretty sweet. I took it down there when Trey was out there, and he shot it. And I was shooting when he bought his 10 millimeter down there, and it was nice. I think that's what I'm going to take out tomorrow. I'm going to load some 45s up tonight.
I was looking at that SIG 10 millimeter. That thing looks sweet.
Yeah.
Man, my shop was just overloaded with goodness. I even told two of the guys working there, I said, man, you got a lot of nice stuff now. They always did have great selections, but man, they had just about every gun that's been on my mind lately. They had them there, man. They had all kinds of 45 Colt, single action army type Cimarrons, Ubertis. Had a whole shitload of them. Had a whole bunch of Ruger Wranglers. Got a whole bunch of Heritages. They got the Taurus TX competitions in there. They got Colt Commander size 1911 stainless, which I should have bought, but I didn't. They got Pythons back in there. They got Smith & Wesson 686s. They got a whole mess of good used guns. He just told me when he got in there, he can get brand new Ruger Super Blackhawks with scope rings already on them for, I forget the price. He said retail they were $1,500. He'd get me a brand new one for $1,100. Just, man, they were just loaded everywhere I looked with good stuff, man. But I grabbed a Beretta 92X RDO model set up for the Red Dot.
Yeah, my store out here, they don't carry too many revolvers. The only thing they got in revolvers is that damn Rough Rider. And they got a ton of those son of a bitches.
Yeah, my shop had bunches, Heritages, some nice ones too, man. Some multicolored ones. They had some nice ones, but Chris from 740's videos you've been putting out, man, didn't look like the accuracy's there with those guns. So
Mine's accurate.
That was that
Yeah, he had that cowboy one.
Yeah, that tactical cowboy.
Yeah, I just got the basic that came with the 22 mag cylinder with the gun, and that thing.
Yeah, you just got the basic Heritage Rough Rider.
Yeah, it shoots really good with the long rifle. And you swap the cylinder and you shoot 22 mag out of that thing, and that thing is a tack driver with 22 mag.
A friend of mine's got an old one. Now, I don't know when they first started making them, but he's had this gun for years and years and years and years. And it has a hair trigger on it. Not like the ones you get now. I mean, this one has got a hair trigger. Like Kingpin says, a think about it trigger. And every time I'd used it, I thought it was accurate. We use it to shoot tannerite bottles with it. And you got to pretty much hit those little jars straight on with it. I never saw a problem with accuracy out of his, but like I said, his is, I don't know, it could be 20 years old or older, probably.
Yeah. You talk to Mike, budget. He'll tell you the same thing with his. He did a video on his where it said in the video that 22 Magnum, it's more accurate with 22 Magnum with his than it is with 22 long rifle, which is the way mine is. Mine's accurate with 22 long rifle. It's more accurate with the 22 Magnum. And his is the same way.
Didn't Mike shoot his out at 100 yards? Hitting steel with it?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he may have, yeah. I think Chris just got a lemon.
Yeah, I told Chris in one of the comments when he was talking about the gun was a piece of shit. I told him he had to sing that Kid Rock song, Cowboy. He had to sing that while he was shooting it. It'd be
I
shooting
want to
better.
be a cowboy, baby.
I will say though, man, that tactical cowboy like that, man, it is so freaky and wrong that it's right. You know what I mean? It's damn.
He put he might put the wrong type of optic on there. He might
It's a hell of a fashion statement.
he put
But
a
I,
rifle type optic on it, didn't
He had two different
yeah,
red dots on it.
yeah. I'm gonna give him a round compensator with holes in it to put on the front and get rid of that square thing you got.
he? Yeah, that's his problem. He's got that. He's shooting a round through his square compensator, and that's just throwing off the whole geometry. You know, you can't fit a round
Harmonics
peg
is
in a
off.
square hole.
Yeah, harmonics is off.
Yeah,
You,
exactly.
you can if you pack enough powder behind it.
Astroglide. It'll go
Hey,
through
it's
there.
like Extreme said. You know, you can't fit a circle where a square should be.
But it's fun to try.
Hey, pacifist, I got a question for you.
Sure.
You don't have a stainless steel grill you want to get rid of, do you?
Stainless steel grill.
Yeah, stainless steel grill.
No, I don't.
Oh, damn.
He,
All
wants,
right.
he wants to turn it into a bullet casting station.
No, I'm going to. I'm telling you, I'm going to make the Melt Master 2000.
Milk
I got a-
Master.
I got an even embers from Tractor Supply.
I told him go around to the damn yard sales and garage sales. People are going to be having now. It's that time of year.
I want to hear about that match hammer installation on your Beretta, Jason.
Oh man, I'm working on it.
Hey man,
I love it. I love what it does. It takes away all the pre-travel in that trigger. Not the pre-travel on like the double action because there's not a whole lot there, but it takes away all of it on single action. And I mean like that trigger just barely moves before you're hitting the wall. You know what I
Really?
mean?
That sounds
It's
really
usually got like a very big sloppy take up, you know,
Yeah.
being against the wall. That is gone. And I had it at first I tried it out with like the 92X performance trigger bar and it worked good. But those trigger bars give you over travel. And when you get the over travel, it takes away the short reset. It runs the point of it. So I put a Langdon trigger bar in it that totally eliminated every last bit of over travel, shortest reset you could get. That whole trigger setup came out phenomenal. I couldn't believe the difference in it, the precision it turns that trigger into. But when I put the Langdon trigger bar in it, I lost. Well, double action would work 1 minute, the next minute it wouldn't work. And then times like you'd pull the double action and like the trigger pulled and the hammer had a delay before it dropped. So there's two things you can do. You can file a little bit off of the front of the trigger bar so it'll increase the over travel, which I might do because I mean the single action works perfectly fine, but I mean it is right there at the edge. It could stand to have just a tiny bit of over travel just to guarantee function because it is like rock solid when it drops. There's no over travel. So I can either put a little over travel into it and fix the double action, or I can leave it alone and I can stone off a little bit of the hammer hook on the double action part and leave the trigger bar alone. So I got to do one or the other to make it actually function reliably. But as far as like taking out all the slack and the trigger pull stuff, it's just amazing.
so Pacifist is now cheating on triggers with hammers.
I know, but the hammer is going to improve the trigger. So
Yeah, it's a special. They did something to the hammer that they put like more material on it, on like the radius of it, so when it's cocked all the way back, like into single action mode, it's actually pushing against the trigger bar, and it takes up all that slack out of it. You're almost like sitting on the wall on that trigger, man. It's just so precise, and I mean, it breaks right there and it resets. Well, I think that Langdon bar reset is like 8/10 of an inch. So like you're not even pulling a trigger. You're not. There's no room to jerk a trigger. There's no stroke. You're basically just sending muscle impulse to your finger, and that trigger fires. And like I said, it resets in 8/10 of an inch, man. Like you,
Like my
you
my
don't
AR
lift your
trigger.
finger off of it. If you would like ride the reset on it, that gun would damn near run itself full automatic. I
That's
mean,
like my AR trigger when I try to shoot tight groups and I get a really, I brace the grip with my forearm and I get it really tight into my shoulder and I try to shoot like a really tight group at 200 and it just goes full bump.
Yeah,
And next thing I know, I'm spraying like half a dozen shots down range and completely screw my group up.
my P10C has the improved trigger from CZ because it doesn't have the standard P10 trigger in there. It's got like a 2.5, 3 pound trigger. If you do limp wrist drills with it, you'll double tap every time.
Yeah.
yeah, these new Beretta hammers, man. This is the first one I got a hold of. It's so good that I want it in every single one that I got. Even my Langdon trigger job, I'm gonna yank that hammer out, and put one of these in there. I mean, it's that big of a difference. It's a must have. It's a new must have. I mean, it just is.
Kingpin, did you get to drive? Did you drive fire my P10C the last time you came up?
I would imagine so.
You're trying to remember because I was going to ask you what you thought of the trigger that was in that. If you remembered.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, it's a CZ, so it's good.
That trigger has got the lightest trigger I have ever fired in a striker fired gun before.
Trey has one of those, or he had one that did a review on it, and I shot it.
He's got the S, doesn't he? The P10S, the smaller one.
I Yeah, I think so, but it wasn't what I expected it to be. I thought it would be better. I didn't like the way it felt for some reason. Can't remember what the hell it was, but it just felt awkward in my hand. Maybe I'm used to them cheap ass Grisons or some shit.
Yeah, it's a different gun. Most of the Gersons are hammer fired. Hammer fired gun's going to feel different than a striker fired gun.
You know-
Just give me a Canic any day.
You know, if you can't be with the one you rub the one you're with.
Yeah, just like all those guns in the gun shop were always on your mind, right, Jason?
It's like a really cool gas station with a really nice, convenient mart. Low gas prices with an Armenian girl behind the counter. Just doesn't
Okay,
get any better.
What? How low is the prices?
Geez, right now it's like $4.79.
Yeah, that's what it is here.
Every time
Yeah.
I see Armenian girl, I automatically think of Anna Kasparian.
What kind of girl?
If Jason doesn't know this story.
I didn't hear.
If
I
you
didn't
don't-
hear
If
him.
you don't
say-
know who Anna Kasparian is, then you're a lucky man.
What kind of girl at the counter was he talking about?
Armenian.
Armenian.
So it's owned by an Armenian guy and his wife,
Where in
his
the
wife's
fuck
hot,
is
too.
Armenia? Is that Russia?
and they
No,
bring
it's
their relatives
it's-
into work. And one of the
It's
girls,
just north of Greece. It's over in that area. North of just north of the Mediterranean.
So this hairy girl works at your gas station.
yep, She's got hairy knuckles. That's what I like about her.
I don't think it's a girl.
There you go. Assuming.
Is that why she has that big thing in her throat every time she swallows?
Uh-huh.
Hey
And
man,
the Armenians,
she's a world champion swimmer.
the
Back
Armenians
off.
in this country are like the Italians as far as like mafia type stuff.
Oh, and speaking of girls with Adam's apples, did you guys? Me and Jason were talking about this before we went live. But did you guys see the latest one out of Florida?
Transvestite.
No, the latest story out of Florida.
No, not really.
They're the department down in Florida that oversees their Medicaid program has put out a study stating that transsexual surgeries will not be covered under Medicaid because they're, how did they word it? I can pull up the study real quick. Breitbart has the whole study. If you haven't seen it, I can put a link out there in the YouTube chat for anybody who wants to. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Go back. God damn it. Copy that. Thank you. All right.
Do you know that Iran forces people to have sex changes?
That wouldn't surprise me. So there's countries in South America that do as well.
Because they don't allow people to be gay. So they say if you're gonna be a man and like other men, then you're gonna have to have a sex change, or you're gonna die.
Well, South America, they do it for the porn trade. They will kidnap young boys in certain areas of South America, and then as part of their sex trafficking situation, take them and put them on hormone blockers and everything, and then give them the upstairs surgery and not the downstairs surgery, and yeah, then they put them into the porn industry.
What is wrong with our species?
What's wrong with what?
What is wrong with our species?
I don't know. But yeah, there's a 45-page report that was put out by the Florida, completed by Florida Medicaid as requested by the Secretary of the Agency for Healthcare Administration, which oversees Florida's Medicaid program, in which they determined that cross-hormone treatments for people with gender dysphoria are not proven as safe or effective treatments and are experimental and investigational, which under the federal law for Medicaid, anything that is experimental and investigational cannot be covered under Medicaid. So according to the report put out by the division of the government in Florida, which oversees their Medicaid plan, under federal law, they cannot cover these transitional surgeries and hormone treatments and puberty blockers and all that other crap under Medicaid.
Jesus, puberty blockers. Why?
Hey man,
A medical professional. Oh, I don't even know. It just fills me full of effing rage that a medical professional who's supposed to do no harm is going to block a child from going through puberty.
Yeah.
Because they have the feelings that accompany fucking puberty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a boy may pick up a Barbie doll once, that means that in the insane mind of these people, they're a girl.
did you see Jericho Green this week? He had the thumbnail. They made a transgender Barbie doll. Do you know that?
No,
Looks just like Michelle Obama.
I thought you were saying it looks like a Ken doll. That would explain
No,
a
I'm
lot.
serious. Go find Jericho Green, and he had a thing the other day. He didn't really talk, about it, but like, I thought it was Michelle Obama sitting there, got her own Barbie doll, and then you go watch it, and they made a transgender Barbie doll.
Hey, let's be perfectly honest. They've been making female to male Barbie doll transgender Barbie dolls for years. It's called Ken.
Yeah, they're all smooth down there.
Uh-huh. Ken has no junk.
What?
Have you done? You don't have a sister,
No.
do you, Jason?
No, I never had a Ken doll or went looking for nothing. But
I love that meme where Trump is whispering in someone's ear, and then Michelle Obama is she's got like the disgusted look on her face, and she says, "I know he's talking about me," and then the bubble above Trump says, "You know it has a penis, right?"
Yeah, I've seen that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
My stepsister used to play with her Barbie and Ken doll in the living room all the time, and she would take their clothes off. Ken has no junk; he's completely flat.
Yeah, my daughter's got the Barbies and everything.
Ken and Barbie have the same genitalia.
My son is a total car guy. Loves all his toy cars, and he spots all different makes and models on the road. It's pretty impressive at 4 years old. But then he'll play hard with Barbie, with his sister too.
Yeah, my brother and I we'd play with the with her Barbies. We'd use like the old wrestling dolls, the solid rubber like Hulk Hogan and all that with her.
Oh
while
yeah,
she was playing with
me and
her
my cousin
Barbies.
used to knock each other out with those.
Oh yeah, you could walk up to somebody, you crack one in the back of the head. That
He had the
got 2
full
days later with a
collection and the
massive
ring and
concussion.
everything.
I had the Big John Stud one. That thing was freaking solid as hell.
Yeah, but you better rein that boy in while you got a chance, man. He'll grow up be one of them guys that like puts a Chevy motor in a Ford car and shit.
No, he knows the difference, but he loves electric cars. Whenever he sees a Tesla, he's like, well,
Ah,
he's all about them.
do you see the new reports that electric cars 5 times higher giving you cancer?
Yeah, they have all the rare earth and nasty effing chemicals in those batteries. I mean, the technology is not even close to where it needs to be. It's not even our grid is not even close to where it needs to be to support such a system. But they
I'm
force it
building
on.
houses. I'm building houses now that's got car charging ports built in the garage wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the Ford F-150 full electric? Is that the Spark they
Lightning.
call it? The Lightning.
Lightning.
So that one, they offer a package when you buy it to install the charging station in your home, and you can power your home through your vehicle through that charging station for up to 4 days if you lose power, if you have a full charge, granted. I mean, if we were, it's nowhere near where it needs to be, but once it gets to that point where the technology has advanced, and I hope there is a path forward, because right now there isn't, because the stuff they need to manufacture these batteries is just untenable as far as like the mining and the rare earths, and China controls most of them. Like every place that we abandon, like Afghanistan, for example, China moves in and takes over the mining industry. So they're gonna corner the market on these rare earth minerals that you need for these batteries, and they're
Well,
gonna have
hell,
it
they
over a
already
barrel,
do.
like with everything else, and we just let it happen.
Yeah, they pretty much already do have a stranglehold on that because most of it does come out of China.
Yeah.
Most of
All
that
of it.
stuff comes out of the Gobi Desert.
Yeah, and then they go into Africa and Afghanistan, and they put a strong hold on it in these places as well.
China is got the biggest supply of rare earth minerals than anybody, and they buy more per year than anybody, and we don't get none of it. We got so many crazy laws and stupid stuff around here keeping us from negotiating and buying this stuff from other countries. So the countries that are left, they don't want to go through our U.S. bullshit to sell to us. They'll sell it straight to China.
Yeah,
And like Australia is a huge producer. They sell every bit of it to China, won't sell us none. And the only person around here that's got anything useful for us is Canada, and they won't sell to the U.S. They sell it to Australia, who turns around and sells it to China. So like there's anything in these electric cars or any of these batteries in the future, it's all going to be completely 100% controlled by China. I mean, every bit of it.
Yeah.
How do you generate electricity efficiently?
Is that snob ground in the background, or is that a?
I tell you,
No,
the
it's
thing-
my dog.
Another thing that's screwed up around here is right here in Ohio, where I used to go all the time in southern Ohio. They shut down our coal mines. Said we can't use our coal anymore. China did. And train cars after train cars after train cars flow out of there every day full of coal in Ohio and travels halfway across the world to go right back to China for them to use it.
All the recycling.
That is
recycling
wrong.
places-
Another country should not be able to be here in our country and take our natural resources.
all the recycling places and scrap yards that I go to, 95% of the stuff coming out of those places, as far as the metal, goes to China. Just completely bought up by China. They come in there and they negotiate a price before they even scrap the cars and whatnot, and it all goes to them. It's amazing how much they consume.
Well, that's because they don't have an EPA. You want to know how really bullshit the environmental movement is? Like in California, they forced Tesla out of California because they were taxing Tesla so heavily that Elon Musk said, "Fuck you," and moved to Texas, where he
Which
doesn't pay
a
the
lot of companies are doing.
You would think if there's one type of company that the California government would approve of and not try and tax into oblivion to keep them afloat, it would have been Tesla, who was making the kind of cars that California wants them to make.
So we have a Tesla maintenance center in Watertown, Massachusetts, that we go to for pickups and deliveries all the time. We deliver parts and whatnot. We pick up the majority of stuff that we pick up are batteries that come out of the bottom of the car because they don't have a clean facility to work on the batteries at that maintenance facility. So what they have to do is crate the battery, which takes up like almost a quarter of my 48-foot trailer width and lengthwise. And it's a tail. It's a tail. When you pick it up, it's dropped on the tail because they don't have a dock, and so you have to. Once it's dropped on there, you have to have your next stop push it up, or you're screwed. You can't get anything else on. Well, anyways, it has to be shipped out to their facility in the Midwest that has a clean facility to work on these batteries. So if you have a Tesla and your car goes down, you have to bring it in there. They have to take the battery out. They have to crate it. They have to ship it. Has to get there, then blah blah blah, come back and then reinstall it. You're looking at like a 2 to 3 week, 4 week possible turnaround to get your car back. It's ridiculous. And then if your battery goes all together, then it's going to cost you close to 20 grand to replace it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you just need to get their pickup truck and put those giant solar panel on the back so it looks like something out of Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know, they have the technology. They could easily make a more efficient electric car, a hybrid car.
Yeah, you have
any of the,
how are you not able to charge your battery?
Yeah, there's the other two wheels that are just rolling because the rest of the car's rolling. They should be spinning generators to recharge your batteries, but they don't. But they should.
Then what happens to the battery once it's junk? Can you recycle any of it?
I don't think they know how to.
That's what I sorry to interrupt real quick, but I have to correct you, Jason. This is where we got to not abuse words. We do not have the technology. You just said we do have, but we clearly do not have the technology. That's why we're having this conversation. So a lot of people think we've got the technology. Why can't we? Well, we don't. That's the thing. Just like we talked about it the other day, the generator should have been the first idea that anybody ever invented an electric car thought of, is to charge it while you're driving. That should have been the number one thing. The electric car was the first car ever invented, and they threw that in the trash for a reason. You know, in the future, we may have the technology to do these kinds of things, but then you also have to go back once again to how are you going to produce enough electricity to do that? You can't. There's no scientist or mathematic person out there that could honestly tell you that the world could rely on solar power and still be a first world, 21st century, 22nd century type of civilization. I mean, that's just not realistic. Solar panels don't are trash because the technology is trash. The idea is great, but what we do, how we make solar panels, how we use solar panels, how we sit them out in fields and all that, that's archaic type of stuff. So we do not have the technology. Is what is actually the case.
Yeah. And then you got Joe Biden who wants electric powered tanks. Yeah, Joe, because we have a tank that can go 200 miles and then have to find somewhere to plug in the middle of a desert. Yeah, that'll work well.
Yeah, the Ford pickup that I was talking about, fully electric, they were bragging about a 300 and something mile range, and I'm like, what? That you're bragging about that?
Yeah, can you imagine the size of a battery that would be needed
Hell, I
for
can go
for a main
400 in
battery?
my truck
Yeah.
on a tank of gas.
And then you
Yeah.
only have to stop for 5 minutes to fill it up. These guys have to stop
Yeah.
for, geez, like probably an hour.
45
2 hours?
minutes.
Is that what it
45
is?
minutes.
45 minutes to an hour, I think, ain't it?
And then
Yeah.
you look at those charging stations in California, there's a line that you have to wait in for 3 hours just to get to a charging station.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have all these states that give subsidies to companies that move towards green technology. And so a lot of them take them up, like Texas was, and then they had the bad weather down there last year and didn't have enough power to spread out to everybody, and people died. And then they're saying there's going to be roving blackouts this summer because these states are moving to green energy because they get the subsidies, and then they're not going to have enough. They're not going to have enough power within the grid to sustain the demand. It's amazing. We're just not there, but they still push it and push it and push it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, look, you see how big a main battle tank is. We're talking an Abrams tank. Now imagine a vehicle that size with an electric motor. You know how big the battery pack in that thing's going to have to be?
What's going to happen when the first artillery round hits it?
Oh, it's going to be an environmental disaster.
But going to touch on what Pacifist was just saying and what Rich said a little bit earlier about California, that's the key to it all. Is they all know this, and they're still doing it, which therefore means they're doing it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they destroying our economy? Why are they destroying our energy independence and all the different kinds? It's intentional. Now, obviously, you could speculate about why they would do it intentionally and what their end goal would be, but you clearly have to recognize that California is in the shape that it's in. California ran Tesla out because California wants to destroy California's economy, not because they care about green energy. Now, California's economy is bigger than half the rest of the world's economy, and you can't have a destructed United States with an economy in a state like California. That's why they do it in New York. You destroy New York because how do you have the United States of America without the city of New York?
You only have to look
Speaking
as
in
far
New
as
York. Oh, go ahead.
I'll be quick. I'm sorry, Jason. You only have to look as far as Europe. Like France went all electric, and guess where their electric municipality vehicles are sitting now? In graveyards, because they're not fucking sustainable and they don't work, and they can't support them with the grid.
Yeah.
And it's all the examples are there of how it's a failure, and we're not there as far as technology, but they still push it. So it's like they want it to fail.
Yeah, you go back 10, 15 years, France was fully energy independent, running off of nuclear power for their energy. They started going green, and now they have energy deficits with their as far as electricity is concerned.
Wesley Foster's joined us. Welcome, Wesley. Thanks for joining. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's intentional. They gave you a word like progressive, and it fooled a whole bunch of people thinking that this was forward thinking, forward action, when it's what we would consider regressive.
Yeah, well, if you look at the origin of the word progressive in the United States, it goes back to the Flavian socialism of the 1800s, in which you had the American Socialist Party. People started to catch on what that meant, so they changed their name to progressive. people started catching on to what progressive meant, and they started calling themselves liberals. People started catching on to liberal, now they're starting to call themselves progressive again. Hillary Clinton, when she came out and said that she's a early 20th century progressive, she wasn't lying. So that's exactly what she is. If you know what the history of the Progressive Party in the United States was, going back to the late 1800s, early 1900s, and Teddy Roosevelt was a member of this. People act like Teddy Roosevelt was this great president. Teddy Roosevelt was a socialist disguised as a capitalist.
Patriot Marcus here.
Hey, Patriot. Hey, Wesley. Well, I was just going to bring up real quick about that BS that went down in New York. Those laws they passed. All of them's BS, but they passed all new gun sales in their state has to have the firing pin micro stamped. That doesn't exist. That technology for that does not exist. So they just passed a law requiring you to have a technology that doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, they just copied California, New Jersey, which the law states as soon as that technology is available, it has to be implemented. California and New Jersey had already done that.
Ridiculous.
Don't be surprised if you see Maryland and some of these other left-wing states head that direction too in the near future.
Maryland said you gotta register your ghost guns now.
What's a ghost gun? You can't see it. It just goes bump in the night. What the
Oh,
hell?
you'll find out because the hundreds of thousands of them that are probably in Maryland right now are going to get registered. So we'll have a list for you in no time.
Hey, did y'all see that video that Trees Are Blowing put out? Talking about his ghost gun?
Nope.
No, I can't say I have.
Y'all need to go watch that. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, Teresa Blowing's got to get chat.
I may have. How long ago was it?
Just this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've seen the thumbnail.
I haven't been getting any notifications from him, so.
Yeah, go look at it. You'll laugh your ass off at it. I would tell you about it, but I don't want to spoil it.
Patriot is out there trying to force his poll on everybody.
Yeah, I noticed.
What's up, Patriot?
Well, be careful. He's blind, so make sure you don't get stuck by accident.
Mm-hmm. And make sure you speak really loud so we can hear you.
So what I think is that we need to implement the electoral system within states. Each county gets the same amount of votes as every other county, despite the population, because these cities are completely controlling. These large cities like Los Angeles are completely controlling a state which is the majority red. Like all the counties in California are red except for these big pockets of blue. And so all these people up in the north of California, and Illinois is another example, New York is another example, multiple examples throughout the entire country. So these little pockets of blue within these states are controlling the entire state. It doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't go by population. It should go by area. So why should people in Northern California have to suffer the laws that are pushed through by these moonbats in these populous cities?
No, it's the same in every state.
Yeah, it's like that here. We got 3 major cities, and that's it. I mean, everything else is a small city. We got 3 major cities. Got Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati. And they all go Democrat. And the whole rest of the state, every county, every place, everything else is usually red.
And that's the way it goes in most blue states.
We still in the state house though. We're still Republican controlled here and everything. But when it comes to these election times and like even for pride, like Trump won here, but it's only because of good like voter turnout. Like just up there at Cleveland and Columbus, man, that's like enough to like put the Democrat overhead. You know what I mean? Regardless of the whole rest of the state. And believe me, it's probably this way too everywhere else. The way maybe this is why stuff happens the way it is, but like life in these cities, these bigger cities, and these 2 million people here, 4 million people there, their life is nowhere near everybody else's life that lives out here in a county of 700 people.
Right, and you have
And-
like,
and
that
their
small
views-
area.
Their twisted views and their crime rates and their local socialism and all that has nothing to do with the rest of us, man.
And it's such a small area where their lives are completely not even comparable, like you said, Jason, to everybody outside of those small cities, which is a much larger area. So why the hell are we being dictated to by this small pocket of people just because in that little area they put up these high buildings which house a lot more people? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, all full of corrupt people too, man. Corruptness is rampant,
That's the main thing right there.
It's
If you remove the 5 biggest cities or the 5 biggest cities as far as like shootings go, Chicago, Baltimore, examples, blah blah blah. I forget exactly what the 5 are, but if you remove those, the United States goes to 189 out of 193 countries in the world is it for the like shooting murders. It's you just remove those 5. That's a shit ton of fucking murders, and just
You
those.
only got to remove 4 of them. You don't even got to remove all 5. Just remove 4 of them.
Yeah,
New York, Los Angeles, Baltimore, and Chicago. Remove those 4 cities, the murder rate in the United States plummets drastically.
yeah, we were within like the bottom 5% of the murder rate in the world, gun murder rate.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you factor in, like everybody's talking about the guns and this and that and blah blah blah, and England doesn't have as many shootings because they implemented their gun laws. But if you
And that's
include
bullshit.
if you include knives and stabbings and whatnot, London just alone shoots above the U.S.
Do you know why the UK has a lower murder rate than we do?
And you know what? Their murder rate is like slightly lower. It's not like
yeah.
a big.
Do you know
difference.
what? Do you know why?
Why?
Because they don't have CNN over there.
No, no, they do. The reason why their murder rate is lower is because they only report something as a murder if the crime is solved. If it's an unsolved crime, it doesn't go into the murder report. You got to dig into the unsolved crime report to find unsolved homicides and then recalculate the stat to get their true murder rate.
Those
They play with the numbers.
Because
Their murder rate is like 20% higher when you go through and recalculate their number.
So, do you see what happened with all the now that they're bringing formula in from Europe and England? Did you see what's happening to these kids? Their teeth are all fucked up.
Well, that's because it's the British health. That's part of the British dental plan. Did you know? Oh, good, Jason. Sorry.
Oh, I saw a whole bunch of. They were confiscating all of those shipments coming in. The
Yeah.
FDA was coming in as soon as they brought them off the boat, confiscating them.
It's
Really?
against federal law. It's against federal law to import formula from Europe.
Yeah, and they
I
had all kinds of different reasons. The directions aren't in English. The measuring cup is, metric. Just all kinds of things about that, just on the labeling. So, like, all of that did no good. It just wasted time. Effectively took baby formula away from the kids in Europe, and it didn't help us not one bit. It's a stupid move. Stupid.
So what do they do with it? Do they destroy it?
They destroy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
And do you-
Yeah, but
do you
see,
realize-
it got on the news though, that they could say, "Oh, look, Biden and like, look, this whole airplane's full of baby formula. I did something." Every drop of that got confiscated. That came from the one place, but the first shipment and stuff that the military went and got and brought back, that wasn't going to you and I. That wasn't going to the store shelves. That was distributed directly to hospitals and medical facilities.
Yeah, and
So it
do
didn't
you
help
realize-
us people not
I,
one bit.
I thought you said it's going to go straight to the border.
Oh no, Bob. I was about to on
yeah,
the border.
They got warehouses of it.
Warehouses full of it.
Full of it.
Yeah,
Full.
thousands and thousands of cases sitting on pallets that are just sitting there. Nobody's doing shit with it. That could be distributed to stores so people could actually use it, but it's sitting there just on the off chance that somebody may try and sneak across the border with a baby.
See, I know a couple different people right now that have a new baby, and they've been crying about this baby formula shortage for months and months. Stressing out, all of them driving all over. I know one girl lives up here, kind of like out in the country in a smaller county. She drives all over. She goes to all different counties and stores trying to find baby formula, and she started that months and months ago. And her kid, whatever the first baby formula to disappear off the shelves was like her brand, and the kid wasn't liking any other brand than that. And then they brought a brand back. It's supposed to be the same thing, but has a different name on it now. And she's just had all kinds of hell for months and months and months before it ever made any of the news. There was already shortages around here, man.
And heaven help
And
you
the
if your
price
kid-
doubled too.
Yeah, and
the
heaven
price
help you if
doubled.
your kid's lactose intolerant or something along those lines, because then you have to have a special formula, which is even rarer. Even when formula is at full stock, this stuff's hard to find. It's like non-existent now. You can't find it at all, let alone the regular formula. You might be able to find one can here or there. This other one that for lactose intolerant babies, you can't find it at all anywhere. Nobody has it. The federal government doesn't even have that one.
See, man, they're hitting us like 1,000 tabs of knives, man. 1,000 bee sting. It took away our ammo, took away our primers. Now take away baby formula. They've took away shit paper before.
And
I
what's
mean-
going on with all these fires at food processing centers? Like plane crashes, like planes flying in.
Yeah.
There's
That
been
happened all
at
down
least
in
one.
Georgia, wasn't it?
They're all over as far as like the fires and everything, that's happening all over the country. But the plane one, was that one in Georgia?
I think it was.
Well,
So you had a plane crash into it, and then you have like dozens of these huge fires happening at food processing plants. What the hell is going on?
well, look at L.A. where the train yards. They know who were the ones that were raiding these train yards. Why have they not made any arrests?
That's going on right now again.
They know exactly who these people are. They got them all on camera. There are
Yeah, why aren't they
federal
like,
law
why are they,
enforcement.
why are they talking about passing new laws when they won't prosecute and enforce the existing laws?
Yeah, I mean there are federal law enforcement officers whose job it is to patrol the trains. I forget what division it is. I think it's Department of Homeland Security is in charge of the trains now. The security on the railroads. You have agents coming out saying that we know who these people are, and yet you don't see anybody being prosecuted.
You know what? If I'm ever arrested, I'm just going to ask to be treated like an illegal alien.
Well, you shooting for the 5-star motel room at your hotel?
New pair of Nikes, a fucking iPhone, and a free flight
And all the baby
wherever
formula
I
you
want.
want.
Free travel.
And don't forget the formula shortage is because of one corner in one warehouse that had a little bit of fungus that wasn't going to do shit to anything.
Like what those poor babies that died. I think it was 2 babies that died. It was from the water that they were using. It wasn't the formula.
But they claim that they found just a little bit of fungus in one little corner of a warehouse that the formula was stored in cans that the fungus couldn't get into anyway.
And they had all that information before they shut it down, but they still chose to shut it down to cover their act.
They shut it down and destroyed all the formula that was in that facility, whether it was in that building or not.
40% of the supply came from that warehouse or that production center, and they chose to shut it down to cover their asses without any backup plan.
Mm-hmm. All they had to do was send one team in there, clean up that one little corner, and been done with it. That's government efficiency for you, folks.
But as far as like the fires at these food processing plants, I've heard that because of COVID, when they put workers out and some guys some people left and found other jobs and whatever. They brought in a bunch of new people when they started their operations back up again, and they weren't up to speed as far as like the operations of the facility, and as a result they were not doing the right thing, and fires were getting started because of their incompetence and whatnot and blah blah blah. I don't know if that's a reasonable explanation, because it's happening a lot and there's a lot of them going on throughout the country. But that seems to be somewhat of an explanation as far as to why there's so many friggin' fires going on at these food processing plants.
Well, and don't forget, gas going up to $10 a gallon is a good thing.
Right. So while us peasants will be forced to buy $60,000 electric cars that can only sustain battery life for 10 years max until you have to replace the battery for another 20 grand.
And you're lucky if you get 200-300 miles before your battery dies.
Right.
Yeah.
And you'll be paying more in electricity than you're paying for your fuel bill to heat your home just to charge your car every night.
Yeah, my wife's female doctor that she has to go see, it's more than $300. 300-mile round trip to get to her doctor and back.
I make a lot of residential deliveries too, and I see these people that have charging stations and Teslas and whatnot. And guess what they have in the next bay over from their Tesla? A fuel car, a fossil fuel car as a backup, because they're so unreliable.
Yeah.
Got a generator in the trunk of that Tesla too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tesla or any other electric car is fine if you gotta only have a 25-mile commute and you can try. You gotta go any farther than that, you're screwed.
All I want to do is see all these people own them Tesla cars when they have a hurricane and they need to charge the car up. What they going to do?
Mm.
I don't even really. Some of them, it's like, look at all these new cars and electric cars. I know it's LED and electronics and stuff, but it's still power draw. You get in them, everything's electric. It's an electric car, but everything's electric. Like your speedometers, your dash, everything's all digital display. Like there's like fucking laptops, iPads built right into the thing. You got headlights that come on and stay on the whole time, daytime lights. It's like they're wasting a lot of electric on these cars. Give me a regular car, give me some regular mechanical knobs to turn stuff on and off, and give me a battery that'll take my car 500 miles,
Well, hell, in a gas car, your alternator is a generator that,
I wonder too, man, how do you get an air conditioner in a Tesla? What's making it work?
It's all off the battery.
They just had a study in Massachusetts. I think it was Massachusetts. I forget exactly where it came from, but it's obviously from a northeast state, because it has to do with when it's cold out and running your heaters in an electric car. If you have to run your heater on a really cold day, it diminishes your range by 2/3, and so you only have a third of your range if you have to run your heater that day because it's cold.
Yeah, Patriots saying the electric Cadillac uses a generator to slow down that charges the battery. Uses the battery, the generator in place of downshifting.
Yeah, a lot of cars have that technology, but it's just not enough of it. It's like whenever you hit the brakes, it like reverses everything. So instead of drawing power, it's putting power back into the system. But like you're not on the brakes or going downhill as much as you are on the gas and going uphill. You know what I mean? It's not effective enough to recharge it. That's what I'm saying. Why can't it just recharge itself the whole time? That's the only thing that makes sense. You need two wheels with electric motor to make them drive, and the other two wheels are just spinning free, following. They could be turning generators. I mean, the
Hook an
hybrid
alternator,
gas cars
hook an
recharge the
alternator,
battery. Yeah,
hook an alternator up to the batteries. I mean, to the wheels.
yeah, yeah. That's why I said they have the technology to do it. I mean, there's home kits you can build right now. You can say you need something that runs off 12-volt battery, and you want it to recharge, or you do something, or like you got a John boat running an electric trolling motor and ain't no way to charge the battery. They make super small alternators now, and they could take an electric motor and with the right gear pulley combination and on that alternator, and you can hook it up to electric and then run what you need off the battery, and it's extremely close. It's not 100% for 100%, but you're up like in the 90% range of efficiency, to where like, yeah, you're using power, but it's charging itself back up, 90% of the way off an electric motor spinning an alternator to recharge the battery. I mean, you could bolt all that
Like,
to a
it's the
board.
way cars work now.
Yeah.
Gas powered car. The alternator spins and provides electric to the car and recharges the battery. The only time your car really uses the battery is when you start it.
None of these people that are talking about any of this green energy have a single shred of credibility. Like 2-3 weeks ago, they all flew out to some island somewhere to have their summit about the environment. They all flew in private jets. They all live on giant mansions on the ocean. And they all have motorcades around them at all times. So it's pretty clear that the whole thing is pretty much nonsense. There's nothing wrong with Tesla having electric cars, and if you want to buy one and do all that, good, yeah, great, enjoy. But all the people who are trying to make it priority, they're never gonna do that. Do you think Barack Obama is gonna sell one of his beachfront mansions, or turn in his Escalade motorcade? No, of course not. Al Gore's not going to give up his airplane. Al Gore's not going to give up his, private island because the sea levels are about to rise. It's all nonsense.
And shame on the people that buy into it. Shame on them.
Well, that's everybody, though. That's most of you guys, eventually. I mean, ultimately, it's a lot of times it's me, too. Because most people just do what they're told and agree with what they hear. They don't think about it. I mean, it's really clear like that. Just everybody knows that these people fly out in these gas guzzling jets that leave giant carbon footprints.
How
They
dare
have
you?
these and little retarded 15-year-olds
How dare you?
yelling at us.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, she's over 18 now.
Buy
We can
into
pick on her.
people buy into that because, well, hey, and then the Al Gores of the world say, hey, I'll just pretend like I'm paying more taxes and we'll call it carbon credits. And then those same idiots that got upset for about 2 seconds are like, oh, well, carbon credits.
Well, the flaw there is Al Gore's not paying anything in carbon credits because he's the main majority stockholder in every company that issues them.
Well, but what any of them, and none of them are paying for any of that kind of stuff, but they'll tell you that they did.
Patriot's taking off, so have a good night, Patriot.
See you, Patriot.
See you, Patriot.
Yeah, but the reason why Al Gore was pushing all this carbon credit shit is because he gives a shit about the environment, because he stood to make billions of dollars off of it.
Wesley has a lot of good comments out there about electric cars. He seems to know what he's talking about, like the technology anyway.
After all the evidence that we've seen as far as what the Democratic Party is capable of and what they do to destroy this country, how can anybody ever vote for them again?
Because they're stupid and believe every word they tell them.
Well, that and somewhere Rich talked about it earlier, how progressive and liberal and libertarian all got abused. We allow people to abuse our language. If you ask anybody what a conservative is and draw a meme of a conservative, they'll draw the Monopoly man stepping on a black man's face or something like that. And a bunch of stupid people believe that because, that's what they think when they hear conservative. They think, rich white guy sticking up for the big corporations. And that's just not even remotely close to true. But then somebody will come out and say, but Ted Cruz, look at Ted Cruz. And I'll say, Ted Cruz is as far from conservative as Joe Biden is. But then, Ted Cruz will go out on national television in front of millions of people and call himself a conservative. And all those lemmings will go, yeah, he's a conservative.
Yeah, and it's like you got the Democrat. That's the Democrats always say, and that the Republican Party is the party of the big rich, blah 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 blah. If you look at the list of the billionaires in the United States, the vast majority of them are Democrat. They donate to Democrats. They vote Democrat. They support the Democrat policies. They support the gun grab. They support all the Democrat shit.
Man, I don't know if it's all of them, but I'll give you an example of a Democrat that I know. Complaining just a month or so ago about, gas prices and stuff. And I know she hated Trump. I know she a Democrat. I know she voted Democrat. And I said something and she got off because it's not Biden's fault. It's not his fault for the prices. And it's like the way she said it and everything, it's like she actually believes that. You know what I mean?
Because they're really good at controlling the message and the narrative with the support of the mainstream media. They're masters of the messaging system, whereas the Republicans are just whiny ween bags that don't.
Yeah, if you look at all the major news outlets, they're all controlled by the Democrat Party. They are the state media of the Democratic Party.
And then you have the people that control all the capital as well that bully corporations into pushing their message.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Kingpin?
We're aware of all that stuff. We know you can't trust the mainstream media news. So I'm going to go back to my usual default, and I'm going to point my finger at us. And a lot of us think that, like, we like to say, I'm not a part of the left-right paradigm. Well, yeah, you are. And well, there's no such thing as a left-right paradigm. That's just a da-da-da-da-da. Well, no, there's clearly a left-right paradigm. Now, if you're looking at Washington, D.C. and local politics, that's clearly a bad television show that we're all just trapped in, and unfortunately. But to think that there's not a left-right paradigm in human society and human civilization is that's a foolish way to think about things. But nobody ever corrects anybody when they say that and say, well, explain what you actually mean and let's talk about that. They just go, yeah, screw the Republicans too.
Yeah, I'll take it one step farther. It's not just a left-right paradigm; it's a north-south paradigm as well.
Well, there's all kinds of different. I mean,
Yeah.
the Earth is a pretty big flat place. So if you get from one corner to the other going completely horizontal, then there's flat Earth jokes, by the way, just in case.
Yeah, I caught that.
I mean, Earth is a big place. There's all kinds. Chinese people are different because Chinese people are different. They live in a different part of the world and have different climates, different this, da 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 da. And it's really sensible to point out the fact that they're not the same as us.
No. It's like when you get the people saying that the Nazis were right wing by European standards, they are. But if you look at the left right, north south paradigm, the Nazi party is clearly on the left side of the paradigm as we see it in the United States. They're just on the northern part of that, whereas the Soviet Union would have been on the southern part.
Well, and that's not like you try to explain that to people that the Nazis were right wing because the communists were left wing, but they're exactly the same thing, pretty much.
They're both they were both Marxist institutions. The Nazis had more in common with the American Socialist Party, they were Flavian socialists, as were the actual fascists. Which, by the way, the Nazis were not fascists. The fascists were a specific political party in Italy founded by Mussolini because the damn Italian Socialist Party wasn't left wing enough for Mussolini.
Garage guys here.
You know, it gets me about the Democrats and the left. Like I was just saying, that lady, like doesn't even, and they're sincere in their thoughts about, like, well, it's not Biden's fault. We didn't do that. There used to be a time that I at least thought in America, and in all of our lives, everything's fine and dandy till somebody lies to you, right? Like, don't you just cut somebody off once they've lied to you? Like if you go buy a car or a house and it's not what he said or whatever, he lied to you. You don't want to do business with that anymore.
Yeah,
Or you go to the store to buy something, it's not right. They lied to you. Or in any situation that there is, you don't trust that person anymore. You don't have any
How do
desire.
they not see the
But-
lies?
But the politicians lie after lie after lie every day, but not just every day for years. And they
It's the same
choose to still
playbook.
support that.
It's the same
the
playbook every
hypocrisy
single
of it.
time, and
Look
you can
like-
see through it.
3 weeks ago, the news, all those Democrats, all the liberals on The View and all that, what are they crying? They want to kill babies.
Mm-hmm.
They want to twist it. Oh, they're going to say that abortion's illegal and everything. They want to kill babies. That is their right. You can't tell us what to do. This is our right. They want to kill babies, and they're willing to do anything they got to keep that happening. Flash forward another week. Oh, suddenly now they're concerned about baby formula. But just a few of them. Not all of them. They're not threatening any of their own party about primarying them if they don't vote for the new baby formula package. But they act like they're concerned. And then you have what we had here the last 2 weeks. And now what did all of them stand up there in Congress the other day and cry about? The children. Save the Children Act. Our precious, most valuable thing, the children, the children. 3 weeks ago, you were wanting to kill them all the way up to the damn day that they were born. I mean, just save it. The hypocrisy
I
of
think
all
some
of
of them wanted to go when they're 18 years old.
So, like, how the other side just blocks that out and continues to make their own choice to support that party. That party shouldn't even exist right now. I mean, hundreds of things. We just let everything go by day after day. We just let it go. And like I was thinking the other day, like January 6th. I don't understand that, man. This is the United States of America. And how many people do they have arrested that you would call a political prisoner?
And they're
The
keeping
United
them
States
all.
is not supposed to have political prisoners.
They're keeping them all in D.C. where the
Yeah.
swamp is, where they can completely control them through the judges and everything, because everybody is left wing.
The
So
whole
they
situ-
get every. Look at the Sussman trial.
Yeah, the whole thing with the situation of our brothers and sisters that are being held captive, it scares me for the whole country, because if we're not going to stand up for them, we're not going to stand up for nothing. There's not a reason in the world we shouldn't all be down there, burn down the building, bust them out where they at. Those are American citizens being held as political prisoners
No bail.
in America.
Being held as
That's
political prisoners.
bullshit.
And that's
And
why
we-
I'm pissed at the Republican Party as well, because they don't
All
do
of
a
them.
fucking thing or say a fucking thing about it.
Nope. So
Bunch of
that's an
fucking
example of
loons.
what scares me
The
about this
left
country.
pounces on every opportunity they can at every chance they get, and the Republicans, oh, we'll just concede. We'll just concede. It's okay.
Yeah, like I said earlier on Rick's show, if you look at Mitch McConnell, he's a bad poker player that folds when he's sitting on a royal flush.
Mitch the fucking squish is pushing gun control right now. That
Yeah.
piece of shit.
That's what I mean. And for those of you who don't know poker, without wild cards, a royal flush is the highest hand you can have in a hand of poker. And Mitch McConnell will fold while he's holding one of those in his hand.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if they pass any of that stuff that they got up there, the red flags or any of those stuff that they've been mentioning this week,
Not a chance.
magazines, modern sporting rifles, all that they want to get rid of, and everything, if they pass any of that, I don't know what to do, man. It's time for America to stand up and not put up with it. I mean,
They stuck so much bullshit into that bill. There's
I'm
not
not going through
not a
another.
chance that it'll pass.
You know, they had their assault weapons ban last time that sunsetted. You know, this one they're not going to have a sunset. Uh, we can't put up with this anymore, man. Like, I heard the dude the other day stand up and cry about this gun control and said, "You're not going to stop us. We're going to pass it. If it gets filibustered, then we'll get rid of the filibuster. And if the Supreme Court doesn't like it, we'll pack the Supreme Court. We will get what they want."
Then he was confronted
as soon-
by a
as soon
reporter
as-
afterwards, and
As soon as
couldn't
he
define
said
him.
that, as an elected official in America, where we don't put up with tyrants like that, at that very moment, he should have been drug outside and dealt with in the yard, man.
He's a
Plain and
showboat.
simple,
He was
man.
he was confronted by a reporter.
If you don't
after
want
that.
to, if you don't want to hang him, then tar and feather him. But there's no call for. He shouldn't have an office. He shouldn't be able to hold office if that's your view. You pledged your oath to protect the Constitution. You just clearly did not. You're inciting an attack against the Constitution. That's your job, dude. Done. You're out of here. That's your job. Sorry.
Back in the old-
We'll deal with somebody else.
Back in the old days, that guy would have been hauled out of there and tarred and feathered right out front of the Capitol building.
Yeah, that should be your job, man. First oath, you took an oath to the Constitution. I don't care what your feelings are or any of that. As soon as you break that oath, you should be out of office.
So
Outta here.
that guy's a fame whore. He was grandstanding. He was confronted by a reporter in the halls afterwards, and he completely folded like a cheap suit, and he would not define what an assault weapon is.
Because they can't. There is no definition for it.
And he says, "Oh, I gotta go, blah blah blah. I get whatever," and he walks away.
You know, the other day when they had those hearings on there, they had that same guy is still there. And he was talking about, you know, gun control and numbers of victims. That's the same dude that was scared the island would flip over if we sent too many troops to like help them in Haiti or is that
Guam.
where it was?
Guam, yeah.
Guam. He's afraid the island would flip over.
Yeah, yeah. if we
That
put too
same
many
guy is
troops
sitting
on
there
Guam-
telling me about why school kids are getting killed. Why is he still there?
because people are stupid and vote for the guy.
People,
People don't pay attention. People are complacent.
Yeah, never
Yeah.
overestimate the power of stupidity and ignorance.
no, it's a lot simpler than that. People, most people, are liars. And everyone, all of you and me included, love to be lied to. We love it. Absolutely. We thrive on being lied to. We wouldn't know what to do if somebody told us the truth. And that's just how it goes. That's why we have the government that we have and the world that we have and all these other kinds of fantasies that we have is because we love being lied to. Just man, it's really that simple. If people didn't enjoy it so much and didn't really bask in it and have something to rant about and get angry about all the time and if you handled things properly, we wouldn't know what to do. Survival is so easy that we need to feed our deviant behaviors in different type of ways. And one of the easiest ways to feed that is allow these politicians to beat us across the face and then ask them for more.
Daily dose of drama. Most people need a daily dose of drama. I've learned that through 2 divorces.
All of us have got friends. All of us have seen the guy, and a bunch of us have been the guy who's got this total banshee for a girlfriend. And every minute is miserable, but they won't go away from each other. And that's pretty much how we are.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, currently right now it's trendy and it's the end thing to do to latch on to Washington D.C.
Yeah. To Wesley, your comment out there. Yeah, Pacifist knows from experience. He's originally from Massachusetts himself. He lives in New Hampshire now, but he knows your pain up there in Massachusetts.
Yeah, Cape Cod Gun Works, they do a segment on a radio show that I listen to every Tuesday on the Grace Curley Show. And Howie Carr, he's the one. She works for Howie Carr. Howie Carr does multiple segments on Cape Gun Works, and they go down there and they do spots from the location. And the guy from Cape Gun Works does his own radio show on AM radio up here as well. Toby Keith, I think his name is. Great spot. It's huge. They have a huge showroom, gun sales, and they have a range out back and everything. Great spot.
Yeah, that guy was as good as he once was.
What's
I
that?
never
King?
knew what that meant.
He's saying that song right. That's correct, right?
Oh, that's what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, Kingpin's just happy he finally figured out what it meant.
The story is actually funnier and I picked up on it right away because me and the guy's son would talk about it the whole time. I'd be like, look, he just doesn't get it. He keeps repeating the lyrics that I don't understand already, but he's word for word just repeating the lyrics and being like, see, you understand now? Like, no, don't.
For the love of God, that's funny.
The garage guy got some V10, VZ G10 frag zebra grips for his Omega today. He's new to the CZ world there, Pacifist.
Welcome.
No, I only got the one, but I've had
CZ
it.
is the way. Sorry, Rich.
I only got the one, but I've had it for a few years now.
What do you have for a CZ, Rich?
I have a P10C, but I have the
Oh,
Urban Gray, the limited edition one, before the Urban Gray became a standard option in the P10C. When they originally were only going to do like a couple thousand guns in that with the enhanced trigger in it, and then they decided to change their mind and made the standard option. But the standard has just the regular P10C trigger in it.
I'm a CZ purist. I don't recognize the polymers. Sorry.
You guys are all communists, man. What happened to you?
Hey man, the Czech Republic has probably got the second best gun laws in the world.
It's still Russia.
No, it's not. They actually rebelled against the Russians. The reason why they didn't have the AK, if you look at Czech history, they didn't use the AK. They built their own rifle because they told the Russians where to shove it with the AK, and they built their own rifle that used the 7.62 by 39.
Yeah,
20,000 rounds between failures. I'll be a commie.
Yeah, Jason, that's Russia.
Yeah, it's
It's not
Russia,
Russia.
man. They're all. It used to be Russia.
No, it wasn't Russia.
You gotta
They were
get
never-
yourself a Shadow 2 now, garage guy.
Czechoslovakia was never Russia, huh?
No,
It still is Russia.
Yeah, it's Russia, man.
they were in that block, but not by choice. There was a whole fiasco after World War II.
They're in that block
Russia.
by choice because Jason
No,
Yeah.
they weren't.
used to put them
Commie block. That's where
Not
they're
by
at.
choice. If you look at the history of Eastern Europe after World War II, the Czechs were not originally in the Soviet sphere. They were invaded by the Soviet Union afterwards.
If you look at the history of This Week Unloaded, Jason and I just moments ago chose to put them in that block. So there's some
And I'm
choice.
telling you, you can't do it because it's not what
You're
happened.
all right with cheating, so I know that doesn't
Uh,
matter.
No, I just know the history where you guys want to make up your own nonsense.
Didn't you see Stripes, man? The EM50.
Dude,
Where
that
did
was,
they go and get captured?
yeah, and you know what?
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, but also
No
if you
friend
look at-
to America.
and that movie's not exactly accurate because if you look at the rifles that the Czech army was carrying, they were carrying AKs, and the Czechs didn't have the AK; they had the VZ.
The only movie that matters about Czech Republic was Spies Like Us.
Well, that wasn't Czech Republic either.
Don't ruin my story.
Yeah, man, the Russians. They were all over Czechoslovakia, man.
No.
With nukes.
That wasn't the Czech. That wasn't one. That wouldn't have been Czech Republic. That would have been Czechoslovakia. But that was Spies Like Us wasn't there. That was closer over towards Afghanistan, up into the Soviet Union proper, because they had really bad snow and stuff, which you really don't get a whole lot of. I mean, you get snow in the Czech Republic and what former Czechoslovakia states, but not like what they're in Spies Like Us.
All right, man. But in the 1980s, there was more Russians in Afghanistan than there was Afghanistan. So it's the same thing. It's Russians.
Yep.
Anyways, you guys and your Czechoslovakian guns.
Spies Like Us was the first VHS movie that my family ever rented once we bought a VHS player.
What's
That
before
movie is
that?
awesome.
Before that, Betamax.
So my
Laser
father
disc.
was trying to decide between a Betamax and a VHS, and he decided to go with the VHS. Although the Betamax was a better system.
Oh yeah, Betamax was better by far. You know what
And
killed the
for some
Betamax?
reason, for some reason, VHS was adopted, so everybody bought the VHS machine.
Do you know-
machine.
do you
That
know
was the
why?
first Movie.
You know why the VHS outsold Beta? This is a true story. Do you know why?
No, I'm not sure why. Why was that?
Yeah, I know. I know the history of why.
Because Sony banned the production of pornography on Betamax.
Shut up. That's
Well, I
why.
I
That's
know
why.
it was Sony, but yeah,
Yeah,
I know
Sony
that.
owned Betamax, and they prohibited pornography on Betamax. So the people that came up with VHS were like, "Okay, we'll carry the pornography," and boom, VHS became the system of choice.
Yeah, I heard that's why it took over and Beta died, is because the porno movies was VHS.
Uh huh. No shit, that's how it happened.
Garage Guys' first VHS was Revenge of the Nerds.
I can't remember exactly what my first VHS movie was. I can't remember, but I do know that we had Star Wars, and I believe the Olivia Newton-John movie Xanadu. We had that on that laser disc setup.
Was that the one where you had to swap out the discs halfway through? Then they would like.
I don't remember. They were big
size
like
of
a
a regular-
They were big like an album, like a record.
Yeah, they
the
were like
size
4
of-
times the
oh,
size of a CD, and then you would have to change them out halfway through.
When I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to touch that stuff. But we had Star Wars. It was awesome. Of course, we only had the 19-inch widescreen TV, but we had Laserdisc.
Shit, you ever watch Laserdisc on one of those old school projection TVs? Holy hell! You look at the TVs we have now, and you got the high definition, you put a laser disc and you connect it to one of those projection TVs from way back when, and you got a decent picture back then.
Yeah, my buddy had his father was in the technology repair industry. He worked at a repair shop, and so he got those projectors for pretty cheap when they came through the shop or whatever. Somebody wanted to sell them. I don't know how the hell he did it, but he had a few of them in the house, and they had these 6-foot projection screens that they would project onto, and it was pretty fucking. It was a really good show.
Mystic had to step out. She
Oh
said,
yeah,
"Having,
I remember.
allergies."
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay,
was,
go
I
ahead.
was getting ready to give her a chance to say goodbye, but I think she bailed before I could. Well, yep. Night, Stacy. Hope you're feeling better.
See, Annie. Yeah, I
Hope you
remember
feel
now.
better,
They did.
Stacy.
Ours did project out, because I remember we had like a sleepover thing, and I remember we had it and watched Star Wars off of the wall,
Yeah, it was probably like
off
an
of our
8
dining
10
room
foot
wall.
space that you would have between the
Yeah.
projector and the screen.
Yeah,
I'm going to
we
bed
had-
too.
All right. Later, Kingpin.
Take
Later,
it easy.
Kingpin.
Neil.
See you
Later,
later.
Kingpin.
Yeah, our local Sears, you know how they do the TV setups and stuff. They had one of those projection TVs set up where it had the TV itself had a chair that you had to sit in to control the TV. Yeah, my God, that thing! The picture on that thing was just as good as any 1080p TV now. I mean, it wasn't like 4K, but the picture quality was the same as what you would see on a 1080p TV. And that was in their late 70s, early 80s.
I just remember it was cool because nobody else ever had that. It was just
Yeah.
this one friend that I had that his dad got
Well,
that.
shit, nobody could afford the
Technology.
damn thing. The thing was
Yeah,
$10,000 back then, which was the price of a car.
I remember we had one, but we didn't pay a lot for that. But I didn't know that it was that hard to get. We did have connections with the electronics store in town now. Maybe that's where we got it from. But
Yeah,
I just remember maybe mom had more movies than that, but I just remember like Star Wars, and I remember like Xanadu. But I also remember that thing being around and over by the TV room in the living room for like years, with us never even using it or ever working or anything. It just kind of got stacked there. You know?
yeah. The one that I'm talking about is Sears. That thing was $10,000, and this was like late '70s, early '80s. You could buy a new, fairly decent car for that price back then. That wasn't necessarily an affordable television set. You know what I mean? I mean, even today, that's not too entirely affordable the TV, but back then it would have been worse.
I remember, I remember we were always getting like the console TVs, right?
Hmm.
That's what my family always preferred and liked. I remember my mom bought a console TV, and she'd been talking about it, like she put it on layaway or whatever, but she bought a console TV, with the nice wood around it and everything.
Hmm.
It was like a 25-inch screen. Still didn't have remote control when everybody was just starting to have remote control. Still didn't even have remote control on it. 25-inch console TV in the wood and everything, and it was $2,000.
Hmm.
And
Well,
that
hell,
was like that was like the big TV. You know what I mean? That was in like the living room that like only guests and stuff, mom's, dad's fucking friends thought. We're stuck in the back room with 13 inches and 19-inch TVs. But back then, a 25-inch was like, wow, big screen. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
remember when the 27-inch cable ready TV was the game changer in TVs? When
Yeah,
those first hit the market?
a 27-inch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had through the '90s, a 27-inch.
Yeah, that's what we had. We had a Samsung 27-inch TV.
Then
Yeah,
I got into the rear projection after that, the
yeah.
big suckers.
And nowadays, you can run to Walmart and get a 65-inch TV for next to nothing.
The
It'll
first,
run. It'll run for 2 years.
Yeah.
the first HD TV we had was a Polaroid of all brands, right? It was a 24-inch widescreen 720p television. It was a CRT TV. It wasn't LCD
It was a
or
critical race theory TV.
yeah, that was the cathode ray tube. That's what the original CRT was, cathode ray tube. That was the tube TVs. It was a regular tube TV that it had a 24-inch widescreen and it was 720p, which at the time was what HD was. I mean, this was when plasma was first starting to come in. LCD hadn't hit yet. You darn sure hadn't gotten LEDs yet because LEDs were an offshoot of LCD. So I mean, this was cutting edge for the late '90s into the early 2000s.
Shit, man, I bought the ex old lady had a best TV I ever had in my life. It was 2010 or so. It wasn't like that long ago, but it was a projection screen. But it was the kind that had the Texas Instruments technology
Hmm.
in it or whatever. The little mirrors that motorized or something. It changes colors. But anyways, it was a projection and it had a fabulous picture. It had as good as these
Oh
1080p
yeah.
high def pictures. Um, but it was huge. Like, I think it was like a 65-inch, but they didn't measure it like they measure these flat screen things. You know what I mean? A 65-inch in that TV is like a 80, 90-inch in these flat modern day TVs. It was
Yeah,
huge.
the flat
The
TVs
football
today.
games, the players were as big as you. You go stand up next to the TV, and it
Hmm.
was like life size. Oh, I loved that fucking TV, and the HD channels had just started coming out, and football was being broadcasted. That TV was fabulous, man.
Yeah, well, I remember a
Fabulous.
couple of weeks ago before Gary decided he was going to go on vacation for 2 weeks without doing his show. And we were talking about that kind of stuff on his show, on his Friday night show, I think it was. And you can get projectors now that'll do 4K, and they have special screens that you hang on your wall. It's like a movie theater
Yeah.
screen, and you can do 4K without having to have a TV because all the signal goes right into the projector and everything in broadcast, and it looks better than any TV you could want.
Yeah, I just
You
love
could
that
really have a
TV we
movie.
had.
Yeah, you would literally have a movie theater in your house that plays your regular TV programs.
I always took mine apart, especially for football seasons. Cleaned all the mirrors and everything in it. Knew how to adjust it, on-screen adjustments, and line the crosshairs back up. I mean, that TV just was fabulous, man. I know it's not the modern flat screen technology, but the picture was just fabulous on that TV,
Yeah.
man.
All these new projectors, you don't have to clean anything
Yeah.
except maybe the lens on the front of it. You don't have to take it apart and clean anything inside because the technology's changed now.
Yeah, believe it or not, man, I always remember a little story. Had the police at my house several times. Had a stepdaughter's boyfriend that wanted to always be an idiot, right? So I had the police at my house more than one occasion. And man, they were in there one time and they were sitting there and they looked over and he's like, "Damn, that's a nice TV." And I looked at it and stuff and said, "You should see it when the game's on." And like all their cops looked at me like, "Oh yeah, I bet, man."
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, it's like you're at the stadium, man. It's awesome. But it was the Texas Instruments kind. I forget who actually made the TV, but it had the Texas Instruments technology in it. It went bad on me. A computer board went bad on it, and it like took out a whole bunch of pixels. Like it started with one, and then they all went out, and you had like 1,000 white dots on your screen, right?
Mm.
My mother-in-law had the exact same TV, exactly the same one, and it happened to her first, so that's what I knew what to do. You called them and told them about it. They sent a repairman from Cleveland, so that's like a 3-hour drive to me. They sent a repairman from Cleveland, came into the house, and replaced the circuit board in the TV, made it all brand new again. And you only had to buy a $25 little part thing that he also changed at the same time. But I did go through light bulbs a lot. If you didn't buy the right light bulb, they didn't last very long. But the TV did go through some light bulbs. But man, it worked great when it worked.
Yeah, I would love to be able to get one of those projector systems like I was just talking about. You don't have to worry about light bulbs. You don't have to worry about cleaning any mirrors or anything. Every so often, you might have to dust off the lens on the front of it. But God, the picture you get from one of those. I don't know if you guys ever watched anything online. It's Tech Tips channel. I think I referred you and Buck to that channel before, Jason. Buck, but he just did a video where he was setting up his home theater in his house that he had just bought and he's been renovating. And he put in a home theater, literally a home theater in the house where they have like theater seating and stuff in there. And he has one of those setups with the projector and the custom screen you hang on your wall. The picture on that thing is insane. It's literally like sitting in a movie theater in his house. I would love to have a setup like that.
Yeah, I'd like to have a projection like for a big football party for one of the games outside at night on a screen. Man, that would be awesome.
You have to get the right speakers too. Get the whole surround sound thing going.
Oh yeah, the surround sound system.
Oh yeah, I always got the surround sound going.
The surround system that Linus had set up in his house. He's got 2 massive subwoofers. See it? Speakers in the ceiling, and then like satellite speakers behind them and stuff.
Yeah, you got to get the subwoofers below, like right below the projector, and then you get the stereo sound. From
Well,
the
no,
speakers.
you put the subs off to the side, and you have a center channel that's right underneath the screen. He had a professional sound installer guy that works for him. Because he started out, Linus Tech, he started out as working for another company that did tech stuff, building computers and stuff. He left that company, went and started his own, and in the last 10 years, it's grown exponentially into where he's able to afford all kinds of crazy stuff in his house now that he's put together. And he has his own guys that work for him where they do the testing on various different things, and he's doing a whole lab and stuff where he's be testing all that kind of sound stuff. He had the sound guy come in and install all this stuff, and you do not want to put your subs right under the screen. The guy said you want to put them off to the side, like halfway between the audience and the screen, and then all you want underneath the speaker, the main thing is your a couple of woofers which are built into your center console. You want speakers up high, either if you can't afford to put them in the ceiling, you want them as high up like where the corner where the ceiling meets the wall. You want to mount your speakers like that, and then have a couple of satellites that are behind. He's like, that's how, if you ever look at how a theater speaker system is set up, that's how theaters set them up, because that way you get the full feel of the bass from the subs going all around the theater. If you put them directly underneath the screen, you don't get that full immersive bass feel to it.
So you split them and put them off to the sides?
Yeah. That gives you a wider range of bass that way.
Because it's all
And it
about
allows,
bass.
and it allows some of the bass to bounce off the wall, which fills the room even more.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to hop out here too, man. I didn't realize it was 12:30.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this up. We've been going for almost 3.5 hours now. This was not the plan, but it happens quite frequently.
Yeah, I gotta work hard tomorrow if I want to make it home in time for the show.
Yeah. So, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here, Jason?
Yeah, but I'll just continue to believe Czechoslovakia is Russia.
No, there's a few. Czechoslovakia is actually closer to Germany. It's right below Germany in that area.
It's Russia, Rich.
Uh-huh. Right. So, what about you, Pacifist? You got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I put a short out today. Trying to stay more active with my channel. It's tough with the prices of everything, but yeah, check it out. Gonna do a short out. Thanks for the invite, Rich. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep. Are you gonna be able to make the show? I guess you could say later tonight. Now.
To
Yeah.
DM Foss.
No, here.
Oh, you're
Tonight.
doing a show. You're doing a show tonight as well.
Yeah, we got a wrestling watch along tonight.
What time's that gonna be?
7:00 is when the pre-show starts.
Yeah, I should be able to make it.
All right, I'll send you.
I took Monday off because we have a child care crisis right now, so I had to take a few days off of work to kind of cover what we're missing, the gaps.
All right, yeah. Well, I'll send you an invite. So,
All right, cool.
well, I should say invites because there will be two different things you have to join into, but it's not hard to figure out. Don't want to get too much in depth. Reasons.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So, about you, Buck? Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I agree with Jason. Czechoslovakia is Russian.
You're just saying that because Jason said it.
Yeah. Nah, I ain't got nothing.
You guys are just lucky that Bald and Curious isn't here.
He'd tell you he's a Russian. He does.
No, he'd throw a fit and say he's not a Russian. Well,
He's
but
a
then
Russian.
but let me finish. But then he would say that Mario Mosen's Mexican. So, yeah.
Wait, he's not Mexican?
No, dude, he's American Indian.
Damn, Rich can cut his own self off.
So that's what they've been doing to me all night.
He stepped on himself.
See? Thought
So who the hell's gonna end this show?
He'll be back,
He'll hop
I
back in.
guess.
So
Doesn't
I've,
I don't
I've
know
seen
who's
I've seen scenarios like this before. There's a certain amount of there he is.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
gonna
I
say
went to
that.
turn my camera on, and the fucking thing kicked me out.
uh-huh.
So if that happens, there's a certain amount of time before the show just ends itself, right?
No,
No, it just keeps going.
it just keeps going. So the channel mascot decided he was going to climb up on my lap, and I went to turn the screen on. Boom! It won't. For some reason, it's not recognizing my camera right now.
Yeah, that's why I get kicked out, man.
Yeah, I think I might do a video tomorrow.
Yeah, do it, man.
Me tearing that grill up gonna make me a damn
Yeah.
recasting table.
You know, I go
Yeah.
outside, my girl looks at me like, what are you looking at me like that for?
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to unplug that damn camera and plug it in again. That's what happened the last time that happened. Anyway, we're going to call it a night. So let me go over here and find my outro and play that. And if you're into the wrestling thing, we will see you later tonight. My daughter thinks she fixed the camera. Should I risk it?
Better get off the
Only
mic
one way to
before-
find out. Nope, it didn't fix it.
There we go.
I think I might load up some 45 tonight.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be shooting a lot of nails tomorrow. That's about all shooting I'll get done.
Yeah, now he's getting mad because he can't go on camera. That little shit just likes to be on camera, unlike his dad. So, anyway, I'm going to hit the button to show the outro, and then we will get out of here for the night, and we will see y'all later.
Shall not be in fridge.
No PP
Don't
and
lose
cold
that
box.
rubbing feeling.
Come on, Buck, you gotta say something.
I just don't know what to say.
We left him speechless, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
All right, have a good night, folks.